you start by giving a recap of what we did the last
What
session?
happened last time in the adventure was that our Intrepid Alliance, or adventures, wow. I've been doing prep for the WoW lore run a lot, so got Alliance on the brain. Our Intrepid Adventurers had just gone back, and by gone back I mean gone to, for the first time ever, Fox Ridge, which is the land that had been bequeathed unto them as a favor by Governor Toltar of Amani, the governor of the Al-Jalim estate, which is basically in a state of rebellion against the Navari Confederacy, and was also fighting for its very existence against the Illuvian Kingdom. Upon arriving here, for some strange reason, they found thousands upon thousands of lycanthropes who were swarming all over the place, and had been given as a gift, a great gift unto Snarg, specifically, as a gratitude, because Rakarg pulled some strings to get him a very large number of lycanthropes there. So he's got thousands and thousands under his command at Fox Ridge, which, as you can see, is right here. Upon arrival, and just prior to arrival, this is all just kind of tied in here, the group has started to get a little more, shall we say, open contact with an organization that we've seen many times called the Directorate, which they're still not 100% certain who or what they are, other than the fact that they're obviously militarily oriented and are trying to take over for whatever reason. I guess that's what militaries do. Now, so the Directorate has been running under the assumption, based off of the actions of the party, most notably Zariel's over there, Zariel over there, that the party are functional allies of the Directorate, and that they're going to be yes, we will aid the Directorate in all of their many things. Whether that's true or not, I suppose we'll find out. And so, as a result, there are actually Directorate members and agents at Fox Ridge who kind of came with the party and are also kind of trying to take possession of the airships involved. Now, they're willing to see reason, so to speak, after all. I mean, the Directorate is to be trusted with airships, and obviously if the party's Directorate, then they can be trusted with airships as well. So that's not a huge issue. What else? Oh, right. And right towards the end there, one of Zariel's agents, who is also the weapons officer on the ship, the Goblin woman, whose name I don't remember, Greeley, I want to say, informed them that there is a report that has just come in of events that have happened about a day and a half, 2 days ago, where the main Illuvian force, which had fought its way all the way towards the outskirts of the Yaraq city itself, the major city, had suddenly been pushed back by a massive wave of Tuskers, who were beating the unliving hell out of the Illuvian forces. And I believe that's where we left off.
All right. Wasn't there something else about some kind of request to make an airship dock?
Well, you were in the middle of doing that, if memory serves. Because you're the lycanthropes are actually like, what kind of dock do you want? And that's going to be taking like a couple more months by memory and by my notes, which I have over there.
Okay. I think we got that worked out last time, although admittedly I'm not 100% sure.
I feel like you wanted, I don't have what kind of dock you wanted. I feel like you wanted like a hybrid dock of like part mercantile, part cargo dock, and
I
then
think that's what
part
it was.
custom dock, specifically for the Maiden's Deceit, if I'm recalling correctly.
I think that is what it was, yes.
Okay.
And then they
So-
told me that they were going to need specific specs of my ship, and I said, screw that.
Yes, that's right. They were like, we just need to know everything about the way your ship works. The lycanthropes wanted to know that.
All right. Well, I mean, is everyone all well and equipped and whatnot? Because when we just got in, I don't think we have actually had any R&R for
Oh.
probably like a year.
Probably not, no.
Yeah, no, not really. If/when it comes up again, Z is going to be absolutely adamant that she's not letting any lycanthrope personnel anywhere near her ship.
As she says, this lycanthrope personnel are very politely at the dock, at the loading ramp of her ship, being like, "We're ready to
No,
come
my
in and
ship
help
is in
service
the
your
air.
ship." Oh well, if they don't land, we can't give them supplies and stuff.
Yeah, remember I specifically instructed the Maiden's Deceit to not let anyone not to land and not to let anyone onside the ship except for me, Guido, and Marshall.
Okay, I do remember that now.
Like para drop down.
Pretty much.
Well, you
do
could
you
probably survive the drop at this point. It's only a D10 per 10 feet.
God, that's so funny. We get up in high levels. That will just jump from the top of the mountain. Up.
Yeah, we'll be good. We'll be good. Hey,
I'll just translate the last 10 feet, you know.
Oh, that sounds like a
Safe
great idea.
I like that idea.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea, Guido. You remember what happened last time we tried to translate?
Hit the ground so hard he just disappeared.
Yeah, it's weird how that works. And everyone's like, oh, I hate him for that. I don't know why. Filthy Lugians.
So the company is called Aesir Shipping.
How do you say it?
Aesir?
Icier shipping. Okay.
Like-
A-E, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, which I always mispronounce because I'm stupid. But yeah. I was going to say Aesir or Aesir or something like that. But anyways.
I actually had to look it up just to make sure I was saying it right.
So are you leaping out of the airship?
None of us are on the airship.
Oh, right. Damn. I was hoping someone would jump out and...
Like it
If
would
I
be the
was,
first
I was
time.
going to grab onto Snarg and Z and jump and translate at the same time.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. So you're
Not actually doing this.
you're not on the airship, so it's all good. So you're at the voyage. You're literally like at the point at which you've heard about the Tusker army. Lycanthropes are rushing around doing their thing over there. Listening in,
sucks.
no doubt.
So what else is going on?
What else is going on? Well, I heard the latest Valsenball tournament news. If you'd like to hear it, my lord.
She's like,
Wait, what? When did I become a regent?
Basketball?
Well, you see, excuse me, my lady and my lord and my captain, my captain. Are they present at this meeting? I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. Apparently, all Valsenball has been discontinued for the duration of the state of emergency until the Tusker situation has been contained because they're freaking Tuskers. And she has to actually roll a willpower save really quick. She fails, so she's like freaking out. Oh my god, there's Tuskers. They have a Tusker army. It's a Tusker army. They have a Tusker army.
Whoa, okay.
They have a Tusker army.
One step back.
They have Tusker army.
I didn't realize that.
They're destroying airships.
I walk up to her and smack her.
Ah,
How are they destroying airships?
they're leaping up to them,
Why are they flying
grabbing
that
them,
low?
and smashing into them. Oh my god, we're all
That
gonna
just seems
die.
dangerous.
We're all gonna die.
Wait, they're destroying airships, so there's not a whole bunch of big craters now, are there?
Crater? No, what do you mean?
All right, no, I forget why I said anything.
Okay, whatever. Oh my god.
So their mission is to just blow everything up? I mean, like, what are they doing?
I suppose if hang on, she pulls over her notes. Let's see. Well, if I'm looking at the counterattack they're pushing, it looks like they're trying a straight attack towards Hultberg
They're
across the entire
lack of a better
continent.
term, they're doing a Sherman's March to the sea, basically.
Yes,
We're going to raise Atlanta.
that does appear to be who's Sherman. That does appear to be what they're doing.
Oh, that's actually pretty smart. You're just going to just try and end it right now. I mean, what it is. I mean, all right. Well, who's heading up this army?
I don't know.
So they're just on a rampage, and nobody knows who's actually leading this.
They came out of Iraq.
They came out of Yaraq. Yeah, the general assumption is that they are being led by the Yaraq forces.
Well, I'm going to have to look at the map because it's been a long time since I actually looked at this. I know it's by the sea. That's about it.
Iraq
It's in-
is
right,
by
that's
the
about
inner
it.
sea, southern right-hand side, very bottom.
Yeah, it's basically south,
the capital.
southwest of you. And yeah, capital of what used to be the Confederacy and capital of the Yaraq state.
Wonder if the governor knows a little more about this. You would think he would, right?
Well, it just happened.
Yeah, this is a couple days old news at this point.
Maybe they were communicating like, hey, let's don't attack my Tuskers because they'll rip your arms off. So just keep it on the down low until we march to Alluvia, something like that.
It is worth noting that their plan of attack will take them through the Al Jalim estate.
Oh, well, okay. So look over
Assuming
there. Is everybody evacuating right now? I'd look down the mountain.
most people aren't aware of this news yet. With the
Okay.
hub still down, word isn't traveling super fast. So, yeah.
That means that Toltor probably's got something up his sleeve, because otherwise, I mean, I'd think he'd get people.
That means that Toltar probably doesn't necessarily know.
All right, he don't know about it. All right, let's go tell him.
If we're going to tell them, we should probably go right now.
Yeah.
Come on, Greeley, let's go up to the ship.
Wait, how do we get back up to the ship?
Drop,
The ship never landed.
drop the thing that I don't know the name of. Ladder. Drop the ladder.
It's-
Drop the thing I don't know the name of. Quick! No, that's the anchor.
this is
No, that's no. Oh God. I think my sister's making fun of me. I also think I'm losing connection on my sister because she's frozen right now.
that's an interesting pose to be frozen in.
Yes, it is. She's making fun of me in the pose she's frozen in. Oh, there, you're back. You're back.
Can you guys?
Okay. Anyway, so what are you doing, sis? Now that we can hear you and see you.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yes, you're typing. Type.
Going back to the ship.
Okay.
All right.
Apparently, ship going back to is the current plan.
All right.
So are you translating everyone up there, or
Or-
you can talk? I can hear you typing. I can hear you typing.
No. No.
I mean, we could do the whole session that way. Like your character suddenly become mute, and so you're role playing the mute character.
Get keywords is like typing of the dead.
Yes. Every time you get a correct word spelled correctly, you do an additional +2 damage
Oh.
for each attack. Oh, does she get +2 damage? Yes. See, it was spelled right, so she just gets +2 damage for that.
So it's like whirling accuracy become QWERTY accuracy.
Yes. Accordion accuracy. I like that. Anyways, so how are you getting back up to the... Stop typing over there. How are you getting back up to the ship?
No.
What?
Really?
Use some chapstick. Okay. So, how are you getting back up to the ship? Are you just having the ladder dropped?
Oh,
Stop
just-
typing.
Just drop a rope if we got to.
Okay, so Greeley goes out, and she as it happens, she has a arranged setup of like signal flare stuff to do. She's like, drop the rope and stop texting. There we go. And so Superman style. Okay, so Zariel walks outside and is like, whoosh, whoa, shoot. And that's exactly what happens. Right there.
It's very graceful.
Oh God! And so Zariel goes flying up into the air with her arm out, Superman style. Greeley is
Music and all.
yeah. Zariel's actually humming it as she's going. Greeley's down here like. You guys have a better method of getting up there? I mean, I could have him drop the ladder. We could just land. What do you think? Hey, Zariel! Are you okay with us landing the ship? Stop typing, Zariel! I keep having to screw up the recording to see what you're saying. Just talk.
Oh, we're frozen for like half of that.
So you didn't see me Superman off into the sky and then nearly fall over?
That's when you froze.
God.
All three of you froze with you and the Superman thing reaching back to grab a chair.
Nice.
Anyway, you're moving again now, and I can hear you again.
Yay.
But
But now we have to.
man,
now-
woo!
So Zero goes off like Superman.
All right.
Um,
God, this is getting on the dragon
About
moment, isn't it?
6 inches off. We've done this way before.
Here's what I heard.
well, no, I heard we've done it this way before. Like, I heard that. I was able to decipher that sentence. So you're Supermaning up there?
No, I'm Supermaning is about 6 inches off the ground, and then we're lowering a rope.
So are you still doing the pose, though? That's very important.
Yeah,
Okay. So you're
and
standing.
humming the theme music.
Dun, 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 dun,
I'm slightly taller than normal.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so airship comes down. Dock opens. Like, we'll say 43 lycanthropes immediately rush over. Oh, yes, and some of them are
It
carrying
wasn't
crates.
landing.
Yeah, but they see the airship coming down, so they're like running over with crates and like
get back to work.
supplies. Like, no, we've got your supplies. We got the supplies for the ship right here. Here, we got foodstuffs. We've got extra spare clothes. We got toilet paper. What else we got in here? There's some shampoo, soap. Here, take this crate. Here, we got another one. We got like 5 of these.
I just put it down. We'll carry it in. Good job. Get back to work.
Okay, we can carry it in for you. It's not a big deal.
That's fine.
Okay, hang on. We got a couple more crates. Don't go anywhere.
Just grab one crate, go in there, and close the door.
Okay, and they've come back with like 3 more crates, so there's like a total of 7 crates out here now. Okay, here we go. Where'd they go? And the airship's right there, so they're all like banging on the. Hey, we got your supplies.
This is getting kind of creepy. Let's just leave.
Don't understand what the problem is. It's a hair. I don't understand what the problem is. You see the preview for Zootopia? The bunny woman?
The sloth.
Well, yes, but the
Sloth
bunny
singer.
woman specifically.
Yes.
So imagine that, but fully sized, and that's who's. Come on, I've got your.
Oh, it's like a Disney World outside.
There's a porcupine right next to her.
Oh, it cannot be comfortable.
Well, no, you get used to it after a while. So, are you literally abandoning the rest of the supplies?
I honestly really need them.
No, we're not abandoning the rest of the supplies. We've retrieved and lowered crates before without landing. We did it at the city out in Osteth, where we had to be.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, and the lycanthropes are immediately trying to helpfully get the crates onto the landing pad for you guys. Here.
Oh wait, we have a landing pad. We just
It's
broke-
basically, yeah. And meanwhile, Zerial is actually still over there with her arm in the air.
You wanna get on the ship? Been in your little world for a couple minutes. All right, let's just pick her up and just.
And she's like slowly hovering towards the ship, like really
Yeah.
slowly. It's like I'm almost there.
Can fly, but at 2
Yeah.
meters per.
Yes, perfect flight. Yeah. Okay, so you get all the supplies on the ship. You manage to successfully avoid any lycanthropes actually getting on the ship, even though they're all, like 20 of them come forward and say, "Do you need any crew? We can be bosuns, we can be, deck swabs, we can be janitors, whatever job you need, chefs." And one of them spikes up, "I can speak over 6 million forms of communication."
We could use someone to polish the hull.
Oh, yes, we've got it.
Wait.
All
Find the
12
vulnerabilities in the armor.
Yes.
Here's some chalk and a ball peen hammer.
So they're all volunteering to be to polish the hull, apparently.
That's your business, Queen. I'm not any part of that.
Keeping in mind, we don't have any safety equipment to keep them from falling
No,
off.
it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I don't see the issues here. What do you think, Zerial? Are you okay with this? Psst, yes.
Sorry, it
Say-
finally loaded.
Are you okay with this, sis?
What?
Just say no.
Guido wants to recruit about 20 of these lycanthropes to polish the hull while in flight.
No.
Come on.
They can polish the hull of the other ship while in flight. Not mine.
Okay, so they take the other ship, which the directorate has formally seized at this point, because you're all doing this thing, and they're like, yes, okay, well, they rush off. So you're now in the Maiden's Deceit, hovering in the air in the morning on May 3rd, by the way. It's the date.
Okay. We're heading towards Aljalima, I believe, which is actually just like going out to the grocery store in the airship. But
I was going to say, that should be pretty close. Let me make out the distance really quick. This is the wrong thing. I need this thing, not the other thing. Why are there the wrong things here? Okay, so Fox Ridge is right there. So yeah, this is actually going to only be a few hours trip, especially if you're booking it.
I'm
Just
gonna
in
catch
there.
up on some sleep.
Zariel's going to go to sleep. Ah, shoot, they're fighting Sephiroth. Oh well. I'll have to rewatch that one. So, few hours. Zariel's sleeping. Guido, do you have anything to do during the trip?
I'm assuming I'm still not tired.
Yes, that is correct.
I seem to remember we took some damage, so I'm just gonna inspect the ship.
Okay. Valid thing. So Guido's going around inspecting. Give me an engineering roll if you don't mind while you're doing that. Snarg, what are you up to?
continuing to try and not master, but at least try to replicate that little ley line geomancer elemental communication thing that I've seen a couple of times.
Okay.
Been trying to do.
So you're like, Wingardium Leviosa. No. Wingardium. No one's gonna get that.
I think more people have seen Harry Potter. It's not an unknown movie.
Fair enough. I just ended up rewatching those like 2 days ago. That's why it's fresh in my mind. What's your roll, Guido?
43.
Well, you find a fairly surprisingly small amount of damage, which and I'm stressed that because your engineering is sufficiently high that you're like, wait, we should be more damaged than this. But every time you see there's damage, it clearly has already been repaired, basically. In a lot of cases, like chunks of metal have basically already been smoothed out and resealed. In some cases, Imperial wiring has been reattached. That kind of a thing, basically. So the ship is basically fully functional at full health, if you will, right now.
Okay. I'll prepare a report for the master of the ship.
Who is sleeping right now?
Well,
All right, where's the path? So they start here.
Knock on the door, donk donk. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Go back to sleep.
My door pokes you with a needle as I grump about being disturbed. Like it opens just enough that like a red fire crystal comes out and like pushes against you.
Nice. Okay. So a few hours pass. Nothing else happens. Obviously. Actually, Marshall, do me a favor and give me a knowledge elements roll.
Okay.
Basically, what I'm doing here is adding a number of experience, for lack of a better word, to your figuring that out meter based on
Yes.
your roll.
All right. Got a 36.
36. So we'll go ahead and just flat out add 3 to that number.
Okay.
So you're getting. You feel like you're getting it. You feel like you've got an
Okay.
idea. It's going to take you a little while longer to finish it up, but you're working on it.
Okay.
So you arrive at Aljalima. Everything seems normal for a town that's basically at war. You are, strangely enough, the only airship in the docks right now. So you're spoiled for choice. I assume you are docking normally.
Yep. Knocking normally and going straight away to see the Governor Toltor, I believe.
Yes, Toltorn. So
Yes.
You go
Is this
straight to...
still-
Are all three of you going straight to Toltor? Wait, hang on. How do you wake Zariel up?
Anytime you come and knock at the door, the crystal comes and goes, yeah.
Wait. I want to try my 3 experience skill to see if I can do like a remote wake up
Okay.
through the teacup, right? Because that's how it happened last time.
Roll a d20 with no variables, but at disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Find another dice. This is my lucky dice. I mean, I got a 9.
9 is your lowest?
That's my lowest.
Okay, so Sis, regardless of what Snarg is saying, this is what you hear, okay?
Okay.
Coming from your teacup.
For my teapot, which Colson made me, which
Oh, right, the teapot.
auto
excuse
refills
me.
with water. 'Cause
Yeah. So the water that's in there is just... Sounds like Snarg is drowning in your teapot.
Help me!
Which comes through.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you hear the Sonic about to drown music.
Pop open the lid to the teacup, shake it around a little bit.
Snarg, you trying again? Because there's no response, obviously.
Right, no, like I sense
Put
that
the
like
lid back on. Put it down. Go back to
something's
sleep.
happening. So
No!
I'm like sitting right next to a bunch of crewmen who are just sitting there. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna try again. Someone else have a message?
Yeah. One of the crewmen's like, yeah, I've got a message. We'll make it Greeley,
Okay.
just because she's present. She's like, okay, tell the boss, tell her we found some really awesome tea, and we need her to go inspect it.
All right, I got a 12 with my disadvantaged roll.
Okay, so this is closer to what you hear. It says, and now I have Canada Dry on my glasses.
I did. That last part was not in the message.
Yes,
I pop the tea kettle open. I shake it around a bit.
as you're doing it this time, it's like Canada Dry.
Well, wipe your glasses off with a cloth. Go sit it back up.
No!
Lay back down.
Wake up, damn you!
All right, I think that one got through. So rush over to the quarters and start pounding on the door.
Bam, 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 bam.
The door opens up. A crystal holding the teapot comes out.
He's got this like super expectant, happy look on his face, like he thinks it really worked.
Yeah, it worked. You heard
Crystal
everything.
sets the teapot down on the ground, goes back inside, and shuts the door.
No! No!
Yeah. I mean, they work on it a little more. Wait, we're here, by the way.
You have an intercom, by the way. If you'll recall.
Who needs those?
You remember we've used it several times.
Last time I grabbed an intercom, I got ejected from the back of the ship.
That's true. That is true. That is a thing that actually happened. You survived.
Oh, I mean, it hurt. Well, I said my piece, so I'm gonna go leave.
Okay.
We're here. I'm gonna go see Toltar. I don't know what Guido's doing.
What is Guido doing during this event?
Well, Guido's already been shoved away by the red crystals. So I'd figure about this time he'd pop up and he'd say, "Having any fun with those crystals pushing you out of the way?" on the intercom or something.
He's like, I have a teapot now.
It generates water on its own. It's great.
Well, the first thing I was going to do was
Wait, I have permanent water now?
You got the
Excellent.
teapot. What are you going to do, Guido?
I was going to knock on the door.
On my door?
Yes. No.
So the little crystal pops up again and pushes you in your forehead.
So, as it's coming out through the door, I'm going to knock on the crystal.
Actually, it will shatter. Like first knock.
What does that sound like inside my room?
Broken glass, basically.
Okay, that's gonna wake me up. Does the crystal like get reabsorbed into the floor or something?
Yeah, actually.
Oh,
Like the
cool.
shards fall to the ground and it's like basically liquidizes back in.
But they do make the crashy glass hitting the floor sound.
Yes.
Okay. You hear, ah, ah, funk.
The door, as she's saying this, door just goes wide open. And she's
Another
just
crystal pulls the teacup back in.
yeah, just kind of
Like Snarg's sitting there holding it in his hand like this. And the crystal just kind of comes out and like wraps around the handle and pulls it back in.
Hey,
So I stick my head in the door.
well, I had a teapot.
You've arrived.
Already?
physically. I'm not speaking of your career. Sorry, couldn't resist that one.
So Z's like in the floor with like one leg still up on the bed crystal.
Greeley pokes her head. How do you find that comfortable? That looks so uncomfortable.
I didn't. I wasn't like this to begin with.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Hey, we're here, boss.
Oh, okay. By the way, the
That's what I
never-ending
said.
water,
Yeah.
the never-ending water is at perfect tea brewing or steeping temperature, so it
Oh, so
wouldn't
it's
really.
actually hot.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I'm really thirsty.
I remember that next time.
Pretty much. I'm gonna go potty real quick. Z's gonna follow you guys over, and then I'll be right back.
Okay, so you guys are going straight to Toltarn, from what I understood.
Yes, which I'm assuming we have pretty much unrestricted access.
As I
to.
say, you're very well recognized. I'm not going to make you go through any red tape or anything like that. I mean, you are effectively a member of the Al Jalima state, thanks to the Fox Ridge thing. Oh, I need to change the background. Hang on just a second. You're in Al Jalima.
You sure about that?
Yes, I'm very sure. um, like I was telling you, you have pretty much priority access to the government agency right this. Slavina is actually someone who will come like as you're entering like the chambers of the Hall of Governments. She actually comes out and greets you.
Slovina's not there.
You're right. she
Slovina's in
isn't.
Osteth.
You're right. She's doing that right now. I forgot that wasn't done yet. So instead, a completely lowly and worthless assistant will come out, and will be like, "Masters, Versailles, that Slavina's not here to greet you."
Here, have some tea.
This way.
Don't give him scalding tea. That'll make it worse.
Yes, this
It's
tea
honey
will
tea.
be great for my throat. Oh, God, my throat.
It has honey in it.
Oh, this is much better. Please come with me.
Here, have this tea that's really bitter instead.
Thank you. Oh, okay, thank you, my lady. If you'll come right this way.
It's hard to find good help these days.
So the troll leads you off to the actual governance chambers. Toltorn is currently in session, and he's like, hang on a second.
Of course he is.
Well, of course he is. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's in
I
session.
don't think I've been. Have I been back there since I saved Slovena?
Yes, you have.
Oh, okay.
Because she is officially at Osteth.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh god, I'm gonna do this and this and that, and you overhear some of it, and they're talking about basically surrender plans. It's like, okay, well, we've got to do this, and we've got to ensure this, and we're not sure how to do this, and they're also discussing worst case scenario plans, which basically involves going to ground, completely capitulating. Yes, Alluvian masters, and then everyone who wants to actually resist. Alluvia will then
This
join
is what's
this.
going on when we walk into the room.
Yes, we'll join this rebellion, basically. The El Jalima rebellion, and they will fight to the last in order to defeat
So I just kind of walk up.
the Alluvian menace. And so they're planning. It's like, okay, and we've got to have these safe
Tap,
houses. We
tap,
need safe
tap,
houses.
tap, tap.
Yes, who's this woman who's tapping me? I don't understand.
Toltarn. I'm tapping Toltarn on the
Oh, you're
shoulder.
tapping Toltarn. Sorry. So Toltarn's like, yes, Yes, miss. Of
And I leaned down. I thought he was the one talking. So if he wasn't the one talking, then what I do is I just lean down and whisper in his ear, Yarak got Tuskers somehow.
Wolf Tusk. Actually, hang on. I want to roll to see if he catches himself. He does. He does. Okay, so yeah, he's actually like Yarak. I'm sorry. Could you repeat that quieter?
There were Tuskers killing the Luvian airships. They came about near Iraq.
I see. You- and he just pauses for a minute and says, "Excuse me, ladies, gentlemen. One moment. I feel." And he just walks off to a side chamber.
I follow.
Do you two follow too, I assume?
Yeah, they're leaving over there. So, yeah.
I'm going to stand at the
The war table?
threshold of
Oh.
the, you know,
Okay. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this, Guido. I thought about this. I completely spaced it until just now. So while you're on that trip, leading out here, the crew
Okay.
got together and bought you a hat with a really big rim that says Lord Captain on it.
okay.
Like super, like it's like Barbossa's hat in the Pirates movies, if you remember that one. Peacock
Practice.
feather optional. Okay, so he goes to the
You
side
made him
chamber.
upset. He's leaving now.
Yeah, he really didn't like the hat apparently. So you're in the side chamber and Toltar turns and he's trying to maintain his composure and he's like, "Where did Yarak get armed information? I need information."
Well, I don't really have it. And I'm being called by work. Hold on.
Okay. So he turns to Snarg and he's like, "Snarg,
Hey, you know what? You know about as much as we do right now.
Well,
Well,
no,
actually,
I've been
I know more.
told-
I know more. I know another thing.
I've been
They're heading
told-
right this way.
what?"
Yeah,
I
they're heading straight toward Alluvia, and Algelim is in the way. They're going right towards Holtberg.
Oh my god, that's an awesome hat.
Okay.
Okay, so Guido now has his Lord Captain's hat, which is awesome.
Right.
Zara likes it too. Mr. of Wildpaw, I have heard many stories of your legendary knowledge of creatures. Please, I need your assistance right now. What can we do against a Tusker army? And how many are there? And what weapons are they using? Are they fighting just Alluvians? You said they're on the side of Yarak. I need more information.
Well, that's something we're going to have to find out. We just heard
You
about
don't
it a few
know.
hours.
Oh my god, we don't know. We don't know anything.
We don't
okay.
know.
Okay, I'm listening. So hang on. Do Tuskers tire?
No, actually, so basically, I mean, since he's actually talked with them, and I don't know if they're magical beasts. I don't think they are.
They're
are they?
not. They're not.
Well, at least he got some more of them. We'll start going into an explanation about, how they talk and everything like that. Here, how they can take down airships, how it's possible, et cetera, et cetera.
You're telling me Tuskers talk?
And they do.
They're
Some of them.
intelligent. Some of them.
Some of them. It's
Some of them.
like it's a big, complicated backstory. But
Well, I've
it's-
got some
it's
time
like-
if you want to enlighten me.
did they have cats in Primus?
No, they have Pokemon.
Cat-like ones, then I guess.
Well, pick one. Come on.
Surely.
Surely you know a cat like Pokemon.
Yes, I do know one. Because it's very famous. And it actually
If you can't think of the name of it,
it
can you?
says in the name, it's the Meowth ones. But
There you go.
basically,
Okay.
bring up one of those as an example. It's like, it's like comparing those to Vandalines or something like that, intelligence-wise.
I see. And they don't have some kind of advanced technological society or anything, so we don't have to worry about that.
Actually, I can honestly say I don't know if that exists anymore.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
But
So-
we thought you might want to know they're heading right this way.
they're coming here to
Do you
Algelim.
have any
Here.
Do you have any way to get in contact with Yaraq?
Well, I guess there's the old ways.
What are the old
I,
ways?
well, I mean, like, get on a ship and go. I doubt I could convince the mites to let me hub over there. Ugh.
What could convince the mites to let you hub over there?
They've, and he just, the mites have been very obstinate lately. They've been refusing to talk with anyone. They keep insisting there's some elf in Holtberg who's like making everything worse, and I don't know what they're talking
That doesn't
about.
narrow it down a whole lot.
That's true. Elves, am I right?
Yeah.
There's only two things I hate in this world: people who are intolerant of other species, and elves.
I think you just repeated yourself. Anyway, well, there's a hub in Algelima, right?
Of course there is.
All right. So I'm thinking the mites really don't want their hub to be overrun with Tusker. So perhaps the sooner we sort this out, the better for everyone. Maybe they'll be willing to listen to reason if we can talk with Yarak and find out exactly what's going on here.
I suppose that's a possibility. You know what? Let me think on this for a moment. Very well, yes. And he gets his game face back, and he's like, Mr. of Wildpaw, Mr. of Granite Holm, and Mrs. Whatever. Night Whisperer, I want to say? I don't remember.
Prestigious
Yeah.
name.
Mrs. of Night Whisperer. I'm going to officially empower you for the duration of this mission. And he's actually signing some documents as he's doing, like madly scribbling on his desk. Like, okay, I'm going to officially empower you to act on behalf of the Algelima state for the duration of the crisis with regards to settling the Tusker incident. And then he pauses for a moment. He says, fights in the sand are bad enough. We already have losses on all sides. The Alluvian front has been destroying everything. Tuskers, no. Just no. We don't need armed military bound death machines who can survive in the dyers and meowths,
Yeah,
who are intelligent, you tell me.
they can be. Well, at the very least, we don't want them against us. I think that's
Oh.
step one.
So yes, this has to be dealt with now. Here, and he wraps it up, seals it with his thing, hands it off to whoever's going to grab it.
All right, we all grab one.
There's one.
Oh, there's just one?
There's just one.
Okay. Okay.
You're next one.
Actu-
I'm still
Okay. So Snar grabs it. It's like, if you accomplish this, I don't know what else I can give you. That would be a significant gratitude. I've already given you land. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I could give you titles or position or like, something that is within my power to give within the Algelima state. But the reward will be great, I promise. I just don't know what it is yet.
Well,
That's
I can't speak for anyone else, but you've already given me quite enough. It's comfort knowing that a bunch of Tuskers aren't going to roll over Algelima. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, I'm sure Mr. of Granite Holm over there is a man of... I see he has a very large hat, so I can tell he's a very ambitious man, just based
Yes,
off of
I have to squint my eyes every time I look at it.
that. But yes, with all due haste, please deal with this situation.
All right. So go over there and tap Guido, kind of explain the situation to him in case he hasn't heard.
Wait, Guido, roll awareness.
30.
30, okay.
Did you level up awareness?
That's right, you guys leveled.
Maybe.
You are capable of having overheard that conversation if you choose to.
So I was doing the bodyguard thing of being in the doorway in case someone came by. Not all of my attention. I mean, I would be giving some attention to the conversation, but more attention into the room to ensure that there were no eavesdroppers or intruders.
Okay. Well, in any case, Snarg, I doubt, is leaving anything out when he summarizes everything due.
No.
Sure.
So
So I said, we'll see you soon, Governor. Remember, don't cut yourself out of the fight just yet.
Of course,
All right.
of course. And he goes in and he's like, okay, so we need to discuss evacuation.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Why? Because we do.
Yeah,
Because reasons.
Yes.
because reasons.
I've just received intelligence that evacuation might be a viable stratagem.
I suppose when we got the report, they didn't actually say precisely where the whole Tusk army was. would they?
Actually, yes. At the time the report was taken, which is already, at this point, about almost 2 days old, Fort Calahuth, which is just northeast of Yaraq, was where the army first hit. It was as far forward as the Alluvians had pushed. And the counterattack had just hit there and smashed the fort, actually destroyed it completely.
Okay, so
and was
knowing what
pushing-
I know about Tuskers, and I actually should be able to at least get a ballpark figure of this. How fast could they move? How much time would it take them to get to Algeria, given their current course?
Assuming they're destroying on their way, which slows them down considerably.
Well, it sounds like they are. So basically, I'm trying to get a figure for how much time we realistically have.
Let's say 7 days.
7 days.
That's an estimate, of course.
Right. Okay, that's actually better than I'd hoped for. All right. So just gonna make our way down to the hub immediately. I think this will be my first hub trip.
Oh my god, Snarg has never traveled through hub travel?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Wait,
That's valid.
Wait a minute. No, I take that back. I have.
When
When we went to Fairyland.
you're right. You're right, you did. Everyone did.
That's
when
the
you,
first
when you
time.
traveled to our work, that's right. Oh well. This will be your second.
This will be my second.
Guido's probably gone through hub
It's
several
still, it's like
times.
fine. I mean, it's exciting every time.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless you just do it constantly for business.
Yes. Then it's like,
All right, so we
Alcohol.
march on there and we give all the mites high fives and step into the hub and be on our way.
Mike's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Where are you
No,
going?
it's just- no, I'm assuming they have some sort of like little gate or something. of that sort.
Yeah, it's
Customs.
actually it's quite sealed up. There's some mice there, and the moment you approach, first thing they say is very politely, "I'm sorry, sir, but the hub is not actually open at this moment due to the current state of escalating conflict." And yeah.
Yes, stop right there. I understand, but
Meanwhile,
We've got-
Zariel's doing the Superman thing over again.
she's been like that for the past 30 minutes. Just ignore her. She's kind of like a statue at this point. We've been
Yeah.
lugging-
Yes, she's like, "I'll fly us to the hub."
This is our this gives us advantage on better ram checks. All right. It's like, I understand, but the situation has changed. And hand him the paper forward.
Do you want me to break the seal, sir? I mean,
Guido, how do these things work?
yes, Guido, you're the politics expert at the moment.
Wait. I do have politics. Hang on.
Oh my God, you have politics.
Remember,
So do I.
politics officer.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So
Whatever
when I
that's-
left, I put all of my points into knowledge politics.
Okay. So Guido might actually have a better idea. Maybe we can put our heads together and figure out if this is like for his eyes only or something like that.
25.
Ooh, nice.
Hey, I got 29.
I hate to ask you this, but do you want to actually, do one of you want to assist the other, or do you want to just both separately roll?
Oh, I asked Guido, so I'll assist him.
Okay, so you successfully assist, which puts him to that. So Guido, what? Near as you can tell, allowing this random mite who has nothing to do with anything to open a sealed letter from the governor would probably be a bad idea. This is most likely something that you're supposed to bring out in a moment when you're talking to someone who has the authority to treat with someone who is effectively the governor of Al Shalima, which is what you guys are right now. You are the voice of Sauron right now.
So I confer with Guido. I'm like,
I think you
yes,
might want to
no,
talk to his
because
supervisor.
this is exactly why we need to talk to the person who can open this. We presented this as evidence that we have to talk to this person. It's exactly why we handed this to you, and they're not allowing you to open this.
Oh. Smells nice.
And that's
Kind of recent.
wait, really? Let me see that.
It's got like
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, it's it's a little fruity kind of a thing going on.
But You understand? We need to talk to the appropriate persons who can look at this immediately. This is
Oh,
signed by the
yeah.
governor himself. It's an emergency.
Right, right. Okay. Well, why don't you decide how you're going to convince him in gameplay and mechanics terms?
Ah, um, perhaps I may con- assist Guido in the diplomacy.
Well, I was just saying, just to toss out some suggestions. You could try bribing him. You could try threatening him.
I
You
don't
could
think I would.
try convincing him. You could try lying to him. Just off the top of my head, four options.
I don't think bribing a hub might is really going to work.
In fairness, no, it won't.
I
At
mean, I
all.
think that's pretty much common knowledge. It's not like you're bribing the PTC.
That is true. So I
Um,
won't try to spring that trap on
and
him.
we're not lying. I mean, we have a legitimate reason to do this. So, like, Guido, he's hesitating.
So you want diplomacy?
If that's what you're doing, if you're just trying to convince him flat out.
So, per the orders of the governor, we need to speak to the person in charge of this hub for immediate transportation to insert city.
Yarak.
Back.
Right. Okay. I thought there was a place in between here and back.
Actually, there really isn't on the hub, which is the funny part. I mean, you could go to Tufa, but like if you picture it, like you're up here, Yaraq is right here, and Tufa's right here, so it's really you can go straight to the enemy city, or you can not, and then have the same trip basically.
Okay. So, yeah, per the orders of the governor, we need immediate transportation to Yarak to trying to think of a way of saying dissuade potential inevitable war.
Without causing panic.
Potential inevitable war. I like how you put that.
Um,
I like we're going into this, but maybe downplay the hopelessness part.
Just a little. Don't make it sound like
Nope.
we're all going to die.
just
I mean-
most of us.
I mean, we are, but it's okay, you know.
But you see, if we talk to the supervisor, then we can get that transportation, which would
You know what? Here, let me set you up to my boss here. I'm just the gate guard.
right, exactly. We
You've
need to
successfully convinced me, sir.
talk- Okay.
So,
Zen, are you talking to us?
I don't think she is. I don't see her headphones in. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I-
If you're do this once for yes, twice for no. Okay, she's ignoring it. Okay, so so you go further in. There you see the place now. Guido, of course, you're familiar with how hub travel works, but this is only I think like the second or third time on camera that hub travel has happened. So I'm going to describe it really quick for our viewers.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a huge, actually, we're talking like several 100 feet long and several 100 feet wide area for the line to be. Obviously, there's no one there at the moment. There are still mites patrolling it. They look incredibly well equipped. They are basically as equipped as you guys are in terms of relative equipment level. It's actually a little less than you guys are, if I'm being 100% honest. But you know, you do see a few people who have obsidian gear, for example. These guys are, you know, they give you a look, and they notice that there's one of the guards with you, and they just wave you on. Of course, at the end of the area is the actual hub itself, which is the crystal, massive glowing crystal, which is glowing a deep, kind of a light blue, and there are several mites actually standing there tending the crystal, even though hub travel is currently like turned off, basically. As you're actually walking forward, you actually see a mite appear right next to the crystal. When it happens, it looks completely different from translating, which of course you're well familiar with. It's very quick. It's almost soundless, just like you hear the air being displaced, but that's it. There's no additional for lack of a better term, sound effect. It's just they're there all of a sudden where they weren't before. There's no flash, there's no anything. It's just
There's no bamf.
yeah. There's no bamf. There's no bamf for them actually appearing. So one of them shows up and he's got a sheath of letters in his hand as he appears right there next to the
Okay.
hub. Oh hi, you're doing
happening?
this. You're doing this.
Hold on.
You're Supermaning in the background.
So I'm just following. They've got me tethered, and I'm Supermaning.
Yes, and you've been adding
carrying
you've been adding a +1 to rolls while you're Supermaning back there.
Cool.
Let me finish describing really quick, and then we'll summarize. So a mite shows up right next to the hub. The crystal itself is spotless. You actually see mites cleaning the crystal right there. Most of the mites who are actually in charge of it have different style uniforms on, specifically to showcase this is someone who's in charge of. And Guido knows this, of course, so he can share this with Snarg if he feels like these are mites who are in charge of actually sending people through the hub. These are mites in charge of managing the hub. These are mites in charge of taking the money to verify that people can go through the hub. You know, all that kind of stuff, right? Each person has a completely different style and color of uniform because the mites like to think very, very organized. So, you know, it's very clear cut. You can immediately tell, and Guido, I'm not even going to make you roll for this. You could just be like, that guy right over there is the guy who we would give money to get on normally. That guy over there is the guy in charge. Those are the ones who would actually send us through. He can share that information. Zerial, of course, who has done tons of hub travel as well, also knows all of this. So I think Snarg is the only one who is a relative new character to hub travel at this point, I think. Pretty sure.
I'll point out those individuals as we go.
Okay. While you're walking towards whoever you're going to walk towards, it almost doesn't matter. But this happens while you're doing it. There, you actually suddenly hear this, "Hey!" And you look over, and there's a bandoling over there who's trying to scale the wall, desperately trying to get to the hub. And of course, he is caught immediately. It doesn't even get like 2 feet
Do we
over the wall.
recognize the banderling?
No, he is a random bandoling, Bob McBoberson, and he's, oh God, no, you don't understand. I haven't been to work in like 3 months. I'm gonna lose my job. No, please, just let me. No, I just want to get to my job. Extend this. I'm gonna kill my paid vacation days. As he's being dragged off. So who are you going towards? Oh, right. I'll summarize for Sis real quick. You are actually the official. There's a political term for this in real life. I don't remember what it is. You're the mouths of Sauron right now. You actually speak for Toltar in an official manner. So, and you actually have one document which you can unseal to prove that, and say, you know, we are acting on behalf of the governor. He has sent you saying the Tusker thing needs to be dealt with now. You know, wars, conflicts between people. Yep, sure, whatever. Tuskers, no. Deal with the Tusker thing. Just fix it. And so he has sent, and you are currently at the hub in Al Jalima, hopeful to convince the mites to let you travel through it directly to Yaraq, which will be interesting to see happen. Yes, and that's basically it, actually.
So being familiar with the
Squeaking.
yeah, being familiar with the squeak of the mites, I'll know which of them is the highest in charge.
It's that guy over there.
Yeah. So if the escort is not taking us to him, I will direct us to him.
He will not actually be taking you there initially. And if you're like, hey, dude, oh,
No,
okay.
we need to talk to him.
Okay. I guess I can allow that. Just looks like he's busy right now. Can you give him like, hang on, he's talking to someone. Oh, he's probably, and he just kind of rolls his eyes. You guys have no idea how many people have been trying to use the hub lately. It's not like they even can without us. I don't know what they're thinking.
They got to get to work or they'll lose their vacation days, apparently.
I don't even know what that means. Sir Firminar. Sir Firminar. And the mite looks up. He's like, yes? Oh. What are these people doing here?
We have orders from the governor.
Governor of
We-
whom?
The Al
Toltar.
Thank you. Names.
Oh, the governor of, right, that's where we are. That's right.
I really
okay.
am doing the Neelix roll.
Hopefully later, Neelix, not earlier, Neelix. Otherwise, you'll poison with your cooking.
maybe not anywhere near Lex. Anyway, sorry.
So we have orders from Governor Toltar ordering us to travel immediately to Yaraq in order to.
The governor has no authority to order the mites.
I will hand him the paper.
Why do I own StarCraft 2?
Yeah,
Why not?
Oh,
you probably have the starter edition, which is free. This
Oh,
smells really nice.
I know, right? I have to break the seal, I think.
He looks like he has no idea what to do with this. He's not even. He's just like,
okay. You are instructed to break the seal of the governor.
you sure?
huh? Why am I breaking the seal of the governor?
Not you. You're not a mite, or are you? That would explain so much. Well, I lost.
Should I do a politics roll? I mean,
I'm just going to give it to you because you already rolled this. This is something that you should be giving to, like, the leader of Yarak.
Oh, I thought this was a might pass.
No.
yeah. Okay.
The mites is on you guys.
Okay.
Toltar
That
has
changes
no
everything.
authority at all over the mites, and he knows it.
Okay.
That's why he basically. I'm sorry, I didn't make this clear, so to make this a little more clear, he will say flat out, since you guys are not aware in character, or out of character rather, you guys, I have no authority over the mites. I can't make them do anything. I can't even make them open up the hub for like letters, just parcels. That's on you guys. If you think you guys can convince the hub, that's great. If you can't, just get down there some other way. I don't care how you do it. Just do it.
Okay.
Okay.
And so you have decided to try the hub.
So, backing up just a little bit here. On the trip over to the hub, I think we should discuss our options of how we are going to address this with the guy that I'm talking to now.
Okay. So in the past,
Should we tell them?
You have a question? You have an idea?
No, this is the past when I'm not
yeah,
here.
yeah, she's Supermaning.
I know. That's
But no, you're like popping
Got an
into
idea?
yourself in the past, so now you're there, even though. So yeah, what do you? This is a good question, Guido's Poche. How are you going to? How are you going
just
to
go for the,
convince
hey.
the mites?
let us through, or else this place is going to be overrun by Tuskers. Bam, we got it. Ran.
I think that would qualify as an intimidation
Okay.
roll. This place is going to be run over by Tuskers if you don't let us through.
I'm not doing it, but I need to talk to the people who are because I'm sure they'll be reasonable.
It's an army of Tuskers that are, traveling through Al-Jalima straight.
Because that's not going to sound completely
Made up.
preposterous.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's back up a little bit. Yarak is sending their army.
Alluvia's new super weapon.
Alluvia. So we're just lying at this point.
No. Okay, so most people, there's the predominant rumor about what happened at that one town in Alluvia is that Alluvia has a new super weapon, right?
Yes. Unless you're in Alluvia, then the predominant theory is that Fairy has a super weapon.
Well, we're in Nevere,
I know. I just think
and
it's
so
funny.
we think that Alluvia has the super weapon.
Yep.
So Alluvia's new super weapon that they tested out on that town back there, we have it on good military whatcha-face. Remember, they gave me that special ID that says, that whatever that gets me instant access into Al-Jalima as like an ambassador or whatever.
Okay,
with
I know what you're
Slovenia.
talking about. Yeah.
Remember? Mm-hmm. So, I come in and I'm like, I'm such and such, whatever the hell name I gave. I think I gave myself my real name.
I don't remember.
I don't
we figured
remember.
it out then, and I don't remember.
Anyway, whatever the hell name I gave myself, no, I wouldn't have because this is an official piece of paper. I wouldn't have given my real name.
No, man, it's all good. You can do that.
I'm such and such with Al Jalima State. I'm here on direct orders from the governor. I'm on an urgent mission from the governor. I'm respectfully requesting access to use the hub because we have it on good, solid information that that Alluvia is getting ready to deploy the super weapon that they were testing at the such and such site in Alluvia on Yaraq.
Okay.
And I'm trying to launch a humanitarian mission to evacuate the civilian population as well as notify the necessary officials.
Okay.
If you let me use the hub, I have the potential to save thousands of lives. If you don't, I can't. What do you guys think? I'm a great liar. Let's stick with our strengths.
Sure. Sounds.
So the mites are refusing access to the hub because of the war.
Correct.
So-
in their minds, there's no like good side, bad side, aggressors, defenders. People are killing a lot of other people, and that's unacceptable. So we're shutting it down to teach you a lesson. And I just lost Sis, apparently.
When she comes back,
I'm gonna see if I can.
we've gone through it. It's gone horribly wrong, and we're in the middle
What
of battling the
I hear a
mites.
voice.
Yeah, so my computer froze.
Oh.
Oh.
Wow.
Like it froze as Guido was saying. So the mites are refusing.
Okay then.
All right.
We here at Primus are having technical issues. Those flowers. This way. Those flowers over there.
On.
I don't know. Those flowers over there are going to represent Zariel for the remainder of the evening. Apparently.
Should be a blue button below your picture.
Yeah, there should actually.
I don't have a blue button.
You have a red exclamation point. It says, Zanaspa needs to get the latest Skype to use group video.
But you were just on it like a few minutes ago.
I think.
Well,
this
I
may
was
be a
on the
disconnect
mobile
call,
version. I'm on the
reconnect.
mobile version.
Oh,
Oh.
I.
Boot your computer.
I'm rebooting my computer. I had
Well,
to
yeah, it's
manually
probably-
shut it down.
I was
Like
it's
I
probably
literally
taking a
had
bit of time.
to shut it down by holding the power button.
Wow. Anyways, to
I'm here.
rehash really quick. Guido was asking me, why the mites.
No, I want to know what Guido said. The mites are refusing. What came after that?
The mites are refusing hub travel because
No,
of
you have to
the
say it right.
The mites are refusing.
Lights are refusing travel.
Okay.
That better?
Next, then tomorrow we'll go after Inspector Gadget.
I'll get you, Gadget.
Little dog too.
And to continue, God, where the hell were we?
Mites are refusing.
Mites are refusing.
Right, mites are refusing because they basically don't see they see the war as a horrible evil. They don't care what side is which or who's aggressor, they don't give a damn. Lots of people are killing lots of other people, so we're shutting down the hub. It's very simple by their perspective. So that's why the hub is shut down. Despite Zeiss's best efforts to sabotage that.
I'm gonna laugh if Zeiss can't get it, and I can walk in there and tell a very impassioned, like 5-minute fib, and
You don't understand these brave orphans who have diseases and never had Christmas and just want to play Valsenball one last time. They've never had spiced tea. You don't understand. So you guys need to decide what your stratagem is here. Unless you're all decided on the lie through our teeth strategy.
hey, I'm really good at lying. Does anyone remember anything about mites that would make that a bad idea?
Um,
I'm going to make rolls for that. I'm not helping you out on that one.
AV? In play.
Well, I know that there's like some rate. There's like that one race that can smell a lie.
That would be Tuskers.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not trying to lie to the Tuskers.
I know, but that amuses me. The one race you would have difficulty lying to right now would be the ones you're trying to go stop. Or possibly join, depending on what you end up doing.
Ba, 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 ba.
I could just picture that. Tusker Army's going after Olivia. That's a good idea. Okay, fine. I'll give it to you. The mites, if they catch you in a lie, it's bad. Like, you might be blacklisted for life from the hub if they catch you in the lie. Otherwise, yeah.
I know I wasn't me because I was an orc when I went through.
That's true. You were. You had the orc disguise on. Anyways, so yeah, that's how the mite mindset works. You lie, you be dishonest, deceiving. They really don't mentally that doesn't fit in their brains. So that's a really big.
Yeah, but they're
taboo.
really bad at rolling deception against me. Otherwise, they would know I was telling the truth when I told them there was a Tusker people.
Well, they did. Well, you're not at that step yet. 'Cause
But that
hasn't-
sounds preposterous.
The problem with the humanitarian
approach.
decision, right? The approach. Thank you. Is if we don't. Well, A, are they going to leave the hub open from Yarak to allow people to evacuate? So how are we supposed to then evacuate?
Well, I mean, the idea is that we've got an official
Well,
letter from Governor.
how big is the crater from where we exploded those airships?
I forget the exact amount, but it's like 60 miles wide.
It's bigger than the Yaraq. I
It's-
think it actually may
it's-
reach over to the next city.
It is, yeah. If one was to go off there, it would hit that. What's that city right there? Jucha. Might hit Yalden too. Big.
It'd be close. I'm looking at the dimensions right now.
The entire
It's-
Atlanta area would be would be smaller than the crater.
5-mile radius.
60.
Oh, I thought you said 5.
60. It's huge. If you give me one, I give you an exact number.
Just tell everybody to get in their fridge.
Hold on, hold on.
Uh-oh, I think she got her computer going. Okay, so that there.
Okay, I can hear you again.
70-mile diameter is
Okay.
actually the radius of the crater, or the size of the crater.
There are airships in Iraq, though. Theoretically, there are airships in Iraq, right?
Probably.
It is a possibility.
It's reasonable.
In order to make that work, we'd have to have one of us stay here and try to argue with the mites about opening it up to get people out. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, is there any reason our original reason wouldn't work except if we just tone it down? Instead of Tuskers, they've got a massive army. They may have actually heard something about that. We're basically, going there and seeing what's going on. So this entire place, including the hub, doesn't get
How long would
blown
it
up.
take us to get there by airship?
I'll have to figure it out, but at least a day, pretty sure. Oh, yeah, way more than a day. You're looking like 4-day
Okay.
travel, give or take.
Let's do this. As we're walking along. As we're walking along, Snarg, you can run really fast, right?
Yep.
Snarg, go back to the ship. Tell Greeley to
Sarah.
start, huh?
Sarah, or Erg of Seraph. Seraph's his clan name. I
Whatever.
don't remember his first name.
XO.
Yeah, the
Erg of
Drudge.
Seraph.
It is Erg. I was right. Erg.
Yeah, his first name's Erg. Tell Erg to head toward Yarak, full speed, and then meet us over at the mites thing.
Erg is coming out of the airship to go with you?
No. Tell Erg to take the ship to Yarak, full speed.
Yeah.
No, I see what's happening. Basically, we're starting
And
them
then
off,
if
and
the
if this
mites
fails, we
say
translate.
no, I take us to Yarak
Oh, I get where you're going with this. Okay.
or to the airship.
You've got options. Okay, I'm with it. I'm with it.
That way, the ship's already underway, either for a pickup, or as an emergency get-to location.
I'm going to go ahead and cheat and tell you what Urg will be asking Snarg later when he gets there.
Okay.
Are we running silent or hot?
Well, you're going through the middle of a war zone. So,
And I don't want to be attacked by Tuskers, ma'am. And by ma'am, I mean sir, because he's talking to Snarg.
Me neither. That sounds like a good idea.
fly high.
Let's see, the exact path he'd take.
How high can a Tusker jump?
If an airship went high enough, a Tusker couldn't get there unless they had some kind of cybernetic augmentation, but that's crazy. So, the...
Well, we want him to fly high.
Okay, so flying high. It actually, if he takes a right path, he will actually not be going through the war zone. He'd have to detour a little bit, basically over towards the spatial temple, and then go straight down. But he could completely avoid the front if he does that.
How much extra time would that add on?
I'm gonna just estimate like another 6 hours. 'Cause it's not that much of a variance from a straight shot.
Let's just do that then.
Send the airship going that way, and then us try to get on.
Yeah, okay. So
Us try to get the mites going.
I need to make a note really quick here in my notes that exist for note taking. I'm just gonna mark.
But I really don't think that it's a good idea to tell the mites that there's a Tusker army. And I don't think that they'd have any reason to let us use the hub if we're just saying, oh, there's a massive army.
There we go. Okay.
So we're going with the humanitarian.
That's my vote. Then again, I am kind of partial to it, since it was my idea and all. I'm kidding.
Well, if
Snarg's idea is to intimidate them.
That was a joke.
If doing that, telling them that we are sending the airship down
to help with the humanitarian aid, but we need to get it organized.
we need to get there first to organize it, and then we'll be evacuating by airship.
But we won't be able to get. There's a bunch of people there.
Yeah.
So for that to really be feasible, we're going to have to argue that. In order for us to argue that, we're really going to to not get caught out in our lie. We're going to have to try to get them to open it up for evacuees.
I feel like pointing out, by the way, Guido, an idea will occur to I'm saying it's occurring to you, because you're Guido. You could...
laugh maniacally and say that we could just let them all burn.
No. That's not Guido's style. That's your style. Guido...
No, that's totally Guido's style.
Guido is thinking...
He beat somebody with a wrench. He beat somebody to death with a wrench.
Guido, it will occur to you that if this gets, if you fail at convincing them, and this is how you're mentally, convincing yourself this isn't horribly evil. If we fail, there's a lot of lives on the line here. These mites' lives do not matter relatively, so we can just murder all of these mites here. Kill them all.
See, I told you.
Hang on. And because you have several people who are very expert in technology and psionic engineering, which you're pretty sure the hub is a psion device, and someone well-versed in magic in general, you might be able to figure out how to work the hub yourselves. You are level 10 or whatever you are at this point.
11.
11? Oh, yeah, you have officially hit by the way, just as a heads up, you guys have officially hit the glass ceiling right now. The only way I'm going to let you go above this is if you do something incredibly extraordinary, or you go someplace uncivilized at this point. You are the highest level normal things wandering around the civilized lands at this point. So heads up on that.
I heard Yaraq is pretty uncivilized.
Not that uncivilized, shoot.
We're going to fight a cybernetic.
Cybernetically augmented Tuskers probably qualify as above the ceiling, yes.
Cyber Tusker 3000.
See?
Not
We
that,
have things to.
not that there's anything
We could
cybernetic
fight each
about this.
other, then we could gain levels.
That's a good idea. You've got a reser, right?
We did. That's how we gained 11th level.
So here's my thought.
Oh, no. Okay.
I translate in.
Oh, God!
All right, wait. Stop right there.
Okay, so you okay. That reminds me, I need to look up something in case you
Everyone's
translate.
attention to me. Kill them all, and then we take over the hub.
And then we make lots of money.
Yes.
Of course.
Come to our murder hub. It's fun.
This is the murder. What's with all the fresh paint all over the place? No, it's nothing.
24/7.
Hey, Zeiss, I got you beat. I already got a hub.
I get to add how many points to a thingy?
This is gonna be a
You're not doing the
competition.
Superman thing anymore, so you don't get any more points.
Well, no. I mean, when I gain a level, I get skill points, and then I can have
Which
level
level did you
plus
gain?
how many?
Which
I
class
gained-
did you gain a level in?
Oracle?
I'll have to look that up then.
Or not Oracle, Orator?
I'll have to look that one up too.
50.
No, what I'm saying is how many points is it I can have level plus 3 points in ranks?
Oh, level plus
Right.
2.
7 plus, or I'm sorry, level plus 3?
Is it 3? It is 3, you're
Well,
right.
we
'cause
were
you could
level
start off with
10,
4.
and I wouldn't have had
So
my
yes.
deception.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I've got my.
Yeah,
so
15 is
14
your
the
current
next one.
max. That is correct. Sorry, I misunderstood your question. Okay, so Guido,
Okay, well,
are
we're
you
just going to assume that I've already added those there.
teleprodding? Come on! I already know exactly what would happen.
I'm really tempted because, it's fun. But
Well, if you're going to
Completely
do it
derail
while I'm
everything.
away at the airship.
party cohesion, I'm not going to actually do
Oh
it.
god, so Snarg's in the airship, Guido translates, and I'd have something else happen to Z, so all three of you are totally split up.
That can't be right.
What? Oh, you're still leveling. So I still haven't heard a plan. I mean, you guys have some time, obviously, to plan this. There's no in-game rush.
Well, yeah, I think telling them about the Tusker threat would be unwise, and
13 and 4
like you guys are saying,
is
they probably won't believe it, even though
17.
who would come up with that extravagant of a lie?
That would be like the real-life equivalent of saying, okay, guys, there's these giant meatballs that are attacking right now, and they're devastating everything in France. And the nuclear arsenal is waste. It can't do anything against the meatballs.
Yeah.
With saying that with total sincerity, because you understand, there's a meatball army. It's coming. It's coming to get. Oh God, we need to get down there to stop it.
Hey, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Oh, wait, never mind. That's not what I thought it said. A ring of friendship should have diplomacy in it, not concentration.
That's your fault. That's your.
No, I have not a ring of deception, which adds 0.5 to my deception rolls,
Yeah.
which I think was
That.
finally pointed out to me because I have
And
Millie?
then her Millie of Great Gear,
Thank you.
which I remember. I'm so bad with names, but I remember hers because she just keeps coming up.
Anyway, I have another ring that's ring of friendship, and it's +8 to concentration for some reason. I figured that would be +8 to diplomacy. I was like, so can I become, diplomatically friendly with them and then lie to them? And because we're diplomatically friendly, then, surely, they wouldn't think I would be lying, right?
Actually, that does work that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so convince them that you're a diplomat and that you've got their best interests in mind, and then say, by the way, we're on a humanitarian mission, let us through. And they're like, oh, okay.
And Guido, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, or we could kill them.
Look, that's always option. That's always
No,
plan
you
B.
don't know anything about this. You think Guido's a good guy. He's not the enemy.
Uh, Oh wait, before I go, why don't you have the scroll?
No, yeah, you should probably
Yeah.
give that to someone just in case.
I don't think it's going to do me much good in the airship.
Okay. So have you decided on your stratagem, guys?
Doesn't sound like it.
19 plus 4 is 23, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I think right now we're seeing if diplomacy is an option before that, which is why we're looking at diplomacy bonuses and such.
17. No, I was just being silly. 17 and
Silliness
6
is not tolerated.
is 23.
In
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons. They're serious business.
Okay, so are we going with the lying in through our teeth idea? If that doesn't work, we can always kill them at the end, Guido.
He hasn't said that out loud still.
A little voice in his head says.
Yes, that is legitimately happening. But it's not like super evil. It's literally just this very calm, reasoned, intellectual
Like
voice.
what I just said. You know,
If everything else fails,
if everything else fails, we
You
can
can
just
kill
kill them. This is psionic technology. I'm sure, we could make it work.
and the voice sounds like silent. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know. I mean, I think
Oh.
they'd be okay with just. I mean, maybe leave out the Tuscaroras, but at least tell them we really need to go and talk to people in Iraq because
They
they've
haven't
got an
come.
army that's on the warpath. So we'll make sure that Al Jalim is not overrun.
Okay, I take the snow from Snarg. I'll let Snarg go in first.
The Snark's rushing off to the airship.
Yeah, he's going back to the air.
You need.
To try to be a crackpot.
Well, either way, you guys get through the first guard as already described, so that happens. That's already done. You are now talking with the regional coordinator, basically.
Yeah.
So we're gonna what?
Last chance. Lie or no lie?
Well, it's not.
Oops, that's the wrong dice.
It's not a lie. We can still evacuate some people from Iraq. We will just be very selective on who.
Yes, but in order to get the whole thing about the Alluvian superweapon and everything, that is a lie. Magus's rule is that if your intent is to deceive, you
Right.
have to roll deception. Our intent is going
Right.
to be deceive if we go that direction, regardless of what we end up doing to technically make it a lie or not.
Yeah. It's a better explanation than telling
More
them that a
believable
Tusker-
explanation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, a Tusker army? Not gonna. Yeah.
Meatballs are attacking France.
Right. So.
Okay. Snark?
Fine, go ahead.
Okay.
So he's
So-
just standing there like, what? Can I help you?
So I walk up and actually, I should probably have this in my OOC. Hold on.
And I'm rolling my diplomacy to assist.
Okay.
Yeah, you never actually officially gave me the information on that. So I'm in orc form,
Okay.
or not orc.
Orc is correct.
Yeah, orc, not ogre.
I don't know why you get those so confused. One is huge and completely different culturally.
They both start with O.
The Olthoid?
And they're both green.
Olthoi is a new thing. Orcs and ogres existed for me before Olthoi did.
Fair enough.
So I am. Here's my identification, card, my passport from.
This doesn't
Which
smell
face? I
very
am-
good.
I'm sorry, we ran to get here. My name is, such and such. I'm, here on a humanitarian mission, I would like to respectfully request your all's. I would like to respectfully request your assistance in this mission. We have it on good authority that Alluvia. Oh, thank you.
It smells much nicer now.
Smells very much nicer.
It's got some lilac perfume on it.
I really appreciate that. Back in my pocket. I have it on a good authority that Alluvia is getting ready to deploy the super weapon that they tested at the, what was the name of that city?
Marble
Is it
Bush,
Red
I want
Bull
to
or
say.
something?
Yeah, I was thinking Marble Bush.
I feel it.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it's
yeah.
Marble Bush because I don't have it on my map anymore because it's gone.
Okay.
Which is-
The Alluvia super weapon that they were testing at the Marble Bush location, we have it on good authority that they are finally ready to deploy that weapon, and their target is Yaraq. We are hoping to send an envoy ahead so that we can warn them in advance so that we can evacuate as many civilians as possible. And B, I was hoping that we could convince you to open the hub up temporarily to evacuate as well. The blast range, as far as we're aware, has a 60-mile radius. We're not certain how many people we would be able to evacuate during that time, even using airships. We have.
God. Ma'am, yes, you've convinced me. Oh my God, yes, here, open the hub, open the hub. Starts thrumming
Thank you.
with energy. Go through quickly. We're Yarak. Take them to Yarak.
We will have one more envoy coming through after.
You will have to convince those on the other side to get it back if you want to use the hub to get back. By the way, we can't do anything about that on this side. It's not how it works.
Of course. There will be one more person following me. His name is Snarg Wildpaw,
And he's right there.
and he's back. Oh, there he is.
Snarg's just
Come on,
like
Snarg.
because he's been sprinting the whole way.
So his tongue's hanging out.
I'm like a cat
So are they
person, but I'm
leaving
a
this
dog.
end of the hub open?
That doesn't work that way. The way the actual hub works, hub is actually kind of a misnomer. Basically, it sends you to another hub location. It's entirely from this to that. So in order to get from there to anywhere else, you'd have to convince the people there.
Transportation cannon.
Basically, yes.
I thought both locations had to be active.
No.
Okay.
Another excellent reason why the hub has been shut down. Can you imagine just soldiers showing up all of a sudden? Anyways, so are you ready to go through the hub?
Bum, 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 bum.
See.
Guido is thinking about soldiers and hubs. So you go through, I've kind of described this, you feel just space ripping itself around you, and you feel this horrible current of air, like terribly, terribly loud rush of sound. It's incredibly, like, you can't even hear yourself think. Your teeth are vibrating, and you feel like you're skyrocketing through like a hurricane.
I like yell over at Guido and Stark. I hate this part.
I was to say, because those two are pretty normal. Snarg, yeah, this is your second, I think we decided.
Yes.
I'm
So, yeah,
picturing
second hub transit.
the transportation through the Stargate.
It's similar, except more violent and loud. Like way more violent and loud. If you guys were normal people, I'd make you do constitution checks when you get on the other side.
Wait, so is it like a wind tunnel?
Basically, yeah. Except
You're going through a polar
Physically?
vortex from one place to another.
so yeah, you're literally like your hair's being
Okay.
tossed back. You're not gonna-
I just need to know if the whole cheek thing is going on. Or going,
yes, that's what that is.
Okay,
Your
there you go.
tongue is actually back here.
Have you seen a dog in a wind tunnel? It's hilarious.
I have actually. So, you're there. I'm going to change the background here really quick. As before, once you arrive, all the pomp and circumstance is just not. You're there, and all the horribleness is gone. Yarak. This is our first time in Yarak, so I'm going to describe it briefly for our viewers at home. As you can see, it's a coastal town. You can kind of see this is actually not a great angle of it, but you can see this massive crescent-shaped harbor. This is the Grand Harbor, and I know, great name, that they use in order to work and coordinate along the inner sea. Yarak has always controlled inner sea trade for years and years and years and years and years. Basically, that's what the Navarre Confederacy was founded on, was this port which controlled trade on the inner sea and has been active for centuries. Yarak itself is an incredibly dense city. Think Mexico City if you've ever seen it. Or most of Tokyo, for example, very, very little excess space. Everything is very efficient, very small. Even an expensive house is a tiny little place, no square footage, no yards, and nothing like that, right? Very dense. Normally there would be lots and lots of noise. Those of you who've been to Yarak before, which I know at least Zerial has, Snarg, you've heard tales of it, I know. Guido, I'm not sure if you've ever been to Yarak. It's entirely possible you haven't, because it's not really a place that's big for you.
Unless it was on the railroad, I probably wouldn't have.
It is attached to the rail, so it is possible you've been here. That's the only thing I can think of as to why you would be. Anyways, you guys know, one way or another, this place, noise, constant. See, it's very quiet right now, which is why I bring that up. And there's no mites where you are. There are humans, though.
Wait, do they have the uniforms that we might
any of these
recognize?
humans?
No, you don't, Zerial. What'd you say, Snarg?
I said, did they have uniforms that we might recognize from a previous trip?
We'll say no. They
Okay.
do have uniforms. They are accompanied by, I'm going to refer to them as golems, but don't picture the way I've described golems in the past. Large, humanoid-shaped things. They're bigger than Guido, so they're standard Lugian sized. Fully made of some kind of metal, painted, very stylish. These things have been very meticulously carved and crafted. This is not just like a brute force, whatever.
But this is mechanical, not magical.
Clearly mechanical. And any attempt to, in fact, if you want to roll, I'm just going to give it to you. Knowledge elements or spellcraft or whatever. There's none. These are clearly non-magical, non-weaving things, which you guys have encountered before, which is why I'm just giving it to you. You recognize this sort of thing. This is a.
Well, I didn't. I wasn't there.
That's true. Zerial doesn't, so you may roll. But Snarg immediately recognizes, and Guido immediately recognizes this is a purely technological thing, not a magical or a woven thing. It does not actually have a head in the strictest sense of the word. Instead, at the top of where it looks fairly humanoid, but at the top where the shoulders would be, there is a bit of like a bump going up about like this over it, which looks basically is like a very hard helmet shell or something like that. And there's a thin line of black going along it. Think like a normal size helmet, except it's actually been shrunk down to this, or excuse me, more like this. It's more of an angle. There's several of these here. We'll go ahead and say we'll roll for it. We'll roll for it. There are 10 of these things here around the hub, and most of them are actually. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Most of them are working on the hub device as you speak, as you warp in. Several of the humans are as well. There are also a few banderlings present. Who look like worker style, loose clothing. You don't care if it gets dirty. You know what I mean when I say that. People
Manual
are,
labor construction type.
Bingo. And that's what you poured in at. And I'll give you guys a second to
Are
decide
any of
what
them
you're
carrying
doing.
weapons?
Yes, every single one of the, and I'm just going to use this term because this is what they are. Every single one of the gear knights is armed.
And
Big.
things that are clearly weapons.
Well, for example, the one I pictured immediately, the one I was just describing mentally with the red. Oh, I didn't give you colors. It's like red with like gold inlay and stuff like that. That one is wielding a massive maul, which terminates in. It's very, very blunt, but if you look at it, you can see there's actually small ruins of some language you don't recognize carved into it. Zero roll awareness. Carved into it, like around the edge, as if it was script, but of course you don't recognize it.
16 with no mods.
Which is with mods.
Oh, you wanted me to roll
awareness.
awareness. 37.
That's enough. You recognize that language, Ariel. You can't make it out from here, but you recognize it.
So what you're telling me is they're written in that.
Anyway, so They are armed. Each of them has very large weapons. One of them has a shield.
But they're all different style weapons.
Yes, none of them are uniform. None of the Gear Knights look identical to each other as well. That's important.
Okay, since I don't recognize these Gear Knights, and I don't know why there's humans here instead of mites, and they're all clearly working on something that only the mites know how to use. I don't know anything about this. I'm gonna look at Guido and Snarg, and if they don't stop me, I'm probably gonna be like, excuse me?
Okay, so
So are you guys gonna stop
as I say,
me from
you
saying
guys now
anything?
have a chance to have your initial action, whatever it is you want to do.
There's any place to hide here, is there?
You remember how I described the
teleported.
100-foot wide, hundreds of feet deep row of empty? Remember I described that earlier? Walled on the outside.
I'm readying defense. I'm not drawing my sword,
Okay.
but I'm ready
Are you
in
gonna stop me
case.
from talking?
No, because it's a legitimate question. What are they doing?
Yeah, pretty much. All I'll just
Okay.
say is, I think they
I-
need some friends.
I'm sorry. I'm suddenly picturing you guys. All three of you have seen Force Awakens, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It,
Wait, spoilers ahead of time.
never mind.
It's all
never
right.
mind.
Go ahead.
No. It's all good.
Okay, if you spoil something for somebody, the internet will hate you forever. Just
I'm
saying.
not doing spoilers. Where was I? Okay, so Sarah, okay. Well, I did roll their awareness to see how aware they were of you, and I was going to give you a few extra seconds to do something because they rolled a 3. But you've decided to use that extra time to say, "Hey guys!" So,
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, and it's not a hey guys, it's a very confused.
What the
Excuse
hell?
me.
okay, I'll just tell Sisk in vague terms, or Sis and Snarg. You know the scene on the frozen planet where they're about to shoot the big weapon? I'm just picturing Zariel suddenly appearing there, and Hux is giving his speech, and she's like, excuse me? What are you doing?
Hey, we're new here. What are you guys doing?
What's up? Hey. So they all draw their weapons immediately.
Okay, so my
Run a
next
diplomatic
turn
mission
is
all
gonna
around?
be to turn around and say, "Do you want to leave?
I don't know how to work this
Think
thing.
quick!" I'm holding my hands out. Think quick.
Halt! Identify yourselves!
Wait! We're on a diplomatic mission. Is there somebody that looks like he's in charge, like he's got like the huge regalia?
Actually, the Gear Knight I already described is the one speaking. He has a very deep voice, very James Earl Jonesy, we'll say. You know, just,
Doesn't
and
sound like Rory when Rory's in Tusker form.
no. Good question though. No, he.
Tuskers are about the same size as Lugians, right?
Uh,
So
they-
theoretically, this could be a Tusker in armor.
Tuskers aren't humanoid. I mean, they are, but they're not like stand-up humanoid. They're more like this humanoid.
Okay, so it's not
The
disguising.
very
it.
uncomfortable Tusker.
I'm just gonna be like, oh, hang on. Stay right there. I'm coming. God. I would say Zariel has seen Tuskers in armor, but she hasn't. She didn't go to Apis Lacelle. Those two have seen Tuskers in armor, and this does not look like that at all. Snarg, roll awareness really quick.
Oh, okay.
If you have a
But I-
scent bonus, add it.
Oh, okay.
This is all the news.
I have a total of a 32.
The Gear Knights have no scent that you can detect.
Oh, just like nothing at all?
Yeah, I guess that's a lie. You can smell like iron and steel and
Oh,
metal
they don't
and-
smell living, is what you're saying.
Bingo.
Basically.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
no scent. There's no typical biological scent there. So the Gear Knight I mentioned in question, red design, a little bit of blue outline up here, and I need to remember what I decided. Gold, right? No, it is red. I'm stupid. So instead it's red, but then there's like a deeper red lines up here. Excuse me. So deeper red lines, that's important. Gold inlays, very fancily. He rushes forward, he pulls out the giant maul. Identify yourselves.
Is he like swinging it at my face?
No. In fact, he's not
Okay,
actually
good.
swinging it at all. He just brandished it.
I will point out that I'm
Okay,
wearing
I
a
thought
very
he was
nice
like
red cloak
doing
in case
this
they like
thing
that
at
color.
me.
No, he's not like. No, he's here. Hang on.
No, I didn't think. I thought he was pointing
Okay,
at me with
so he's
it.
got it like this, except it's
Okay.
slightly larger than this.
Your mall is small, sir.
How dare you?
Oh, did you show them what that is?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
So he's got his weapon like one hand.
maybe you should tell him we're not here to start anything.
Oh, by the way, he's wielding this maul that's about as tall as Zerial is in one hand. I just want to make that point.
Do you know a guy named Bonebreaker? He does that with people. Please tell me you don't do that with people.
People? I've never thought of using people as a weapon before. He picks Guido up. I'm ready. Okay, so now identify yourselves, and you too. No,
If he does the,
he doesn't do that. No.
He reaches forward.
That's a good idea.
Wrong.
No,
Yeah,
that,
Zerial
he's,
would panic. Zerial would panic translate.
oh, God.
It's okay. They're humans, right? So they've never seen me before. They've never seen a desolate before, which means they don't have to roll hatred. Theoretically.
These aren't those Aphis LaSalle boys, are they?
We're not the droids you're looking for.
No droids here, sir. Go about our business.
move along.
And the Gear Knight's like, move along. No,
And drop your weapon.
and drop it. Okay, now who's gonna try and pick up the maul?
I have a good strength roll.
All right, you fail.
Uh,
No, you lift like with your whole body. You're like, I got it, guys.
Hey,
Okay.
I could move that diamond cart with no help.
That's true.
Remember, we
Anyways.
don't. And I was moving two of the things.
That's true. That's true. You rolled like a 19 or some ridiculous amount. Anyways, so what's for real? What do you?
It was really funny because Guido kept rolling ones, and so he's like, "Grr."
Yeah.
And here's this like little 4-foot tall thing, just do like it's I because I was short, I was like little kid form at that point in time.
Yeah. Okay, so Snarg is surrendering basically. What
Yeah,
direction? What do you guys doing?
I'm gonna turn around and say, I'm here on a diplomatic mission to
To Alderaan.
you've already done that joke. Go away.
discover this. I'm here on a diplomatic mission from Al Jalima to speak with the leaders.
So you're specifically saying you're from Al Jalima.
Well, they can't tell where I came from. Can they tell where I came from?
The Knights
They're-
could.
Well, they're
That guy over
working
there is
on
using the
shit,
console
so I'm
upside down.
assuming
I don't
they
think
know
it
how
does
to use it.
The guy's like, maybe it works this way. He's just got a hammer. Is this how this?
Oh, he's from Fallout, I see.
Yes.
Another guy has a wrench.
Diplomatics.
So that's some duct tape.
So, deep voice. Diplomats from Al Jalima. Very well. 8765-1138 TX42. Escort her to the governor's office immediately.
Are the humans coming or the shovel knights?
Uh,
I broke him.
well, this is going to be easy, and all we have to do is just hit them once, and they'll die.
I was gonna say the shovel knights. Really?
And they drop money. It's great.
Oh my god. 3 gear knights. Gear knights.
I was somewhat close.
Yes, you were at 50% correct. You got an F. Congratulations.
Metal, right?
Shovels are metal.
Shovels are metal and nuclear bombs are metal. Therefore, to battle shovels. Okay, so you are escorted. Oh my god. You are escorted away from the hub spot.
The shovel treaties.
The Shovel Treaties of 1975. Oh, shovels must be... No, okay.
Wait, I do have one question as we're going.
Yeah.
Are any of them wearing those anti-psionic helmets or headbands?
No.
Okay.
Are they all speaking common?
Yes, the Gear Knights even speak
Even the
common to you.
people, no, I'm assuming that the humans and the other work people that are working and stuff are chatting.
Yes, in
What
common.
language are they speaking?
Common.
They can understand it too? It's
Yes.
not like the time that I thought common was being spoken and it wasn't? Okay. Your hair's not long enough to headbang.
Damn it! A few more months. Okay. As you're being escorted through the city, there's no one in the streets at all, and I really shouldn't call them streets. Again, very condensed city. So it's have either of you ever been to any of those cities where it's alleyways like this, and you just got to squeeze your way through? You couldn't even fit a cart through, that kind of a thing. That's most of what you're going through. There's no one here. It's quiet.
3317?
Affirmative.
Where are all the people?
All people have been worded into their homes for their own safety.
Oh, you mean martial law?
Yes, martial law.
Okay.
This one's not speaking fluidly like the other one did?
Correct. I am doing that on purpose. Yes.
You said worded, W-A-R-D, worded.
Well, actually, no. I said worded because I couldn't
couldn't
remember
think
the
of the
word. I wanted to say absconded, and then I was like, no, that's wrong.
They've been absconded into their homes.
Yeah, it's. I mean that works, but that's not what I was going for. They have been. There is a word for that. Other than
Quarantined.
martial law, quarantine. We'll go with quarantined, even though that implies a medical. They have been quarantined, sealed, quarantined within their
No,
home.
sealed
domiciles.
implies that they've physically been
That's
sealed.
true, which they haven't been. All citizens have been ordered to remain within their domiciles for the duration of the
Only
emergency.
he's talking like this.
Yeah, sorry, right, wrong guy. All citizens have been ordered within their domiciles during the duration of the emergency.
Emergency?
Emergency. And then the big one who speaks normally says quiet.
I thought the big one who spoke normal wasn't coming with us.
Yes.
I wasn't asking this until we were out.
Oh, he is coming with you.
Oh, well, screw. Forewarning, my computer is at 10% battery.
Well, we need to cut it off soonish. It was but in an hour, so whatever. Why don't we get to the next part? So I would like to describe the area a little bit. If you have any questions, now's a great time for it.
What?
You said something about quarantining them in there. I'm looking at the buildings and whatnot. Are they physically closed? Like
No.
somebody's boarded them up, or are people sitting there looking at the window, peering out and what's going on?
Every now and again, you will see someone peering out through the window or through the cracks in the door or whatever, looking at you guys passing. But they're not physically sealed in. However, you do encounter quite a few other people, as you're walking through. Most of them are Gear Knights as well. Some of them are Banderlings. Some of them are Trolls. Standard Navaria races, basically. I'm just not going to go down the list.
Are the standard races being escorted?
No. They are well armed. They look like Yarak, excuse me. In fact, no, I'm just going to give it to you. I was going to say knowledge politics roll, but screw it. You guys are well familiar with this. These are clearly wearing Yarak colors. Not Navaria colors, Yarak colors. And I distinguish that because if you remember, the Navaria military left like months ago. This is Yarak regulars. And the Gear Knights have no uniform whatsoever. None of them look like each other. In fact, if anybody with perfect memory is paying attention, literally none of them look similar to the others at all. They're all unique.
Custom.
Bingo.
Colors and design?
Yes. Now,
Do I hear any of them talk, any more of the Shovel Knights? The Gear
Stop
Knights
calling them that. Some of the other Shovel Knights are like, "Gird thy steel," or "Steal thy shovel." There we go. No, you do hear several of them discussing with each other, and it's stuff that would be ordinary conversation, except it's being conversed in a similar manner as this, and the sort of clipped robotic sort of thing going on. Every now and again, you will hear a Gear Knight who speaks completely normally, like your gentleman.
Do they
in
have
red.
matching colors to the guy? Like, is there any similar distinction
God,
between
I didn't
colors
think you'd pick up on that very quickly.
with people that are speaking commonly?
Every single Gear Knight who is speaking normally has the deep red stripes here.
And the ones who aren't have other color stripes?
There are a variety of other colors, which include yellow, green, blue, and black.
Okay.
Our,
So, did we ever catch the leader dude's name?
I don't believe I gave it to him. Snarg, why don't you ask your question while I look that up?
I was just going to ask if all the humans are of the same affinity.
Oh, that is an excellent question. Why don't you go and roll for that one?
Okay. Where's my elements? Yay!
Is that a good one?
45.
Nice. Really quick, his name is, we'll say Douz. D-O-U-Z, and I'm going to write that down before I forget, because he might be relevant later.
Dows. So when Dows tells 3317 to shut up, I'll be like, I'm sorry, Dows. I didn't mean to be asking anything that was, secure information. I hadn't been told that Yaraq was under a state of emergency.
I'll respond to that really quick. Snarg, Earth.
They're all
of the
Earth.
Earth.
Okay.
To remind
What
you,
about the Shovel Knights? Do they have an affinity?
none.
The Gear Knights?
Yeah.
None.
The reason I was asking is all the humans had a...
Do they have Desolate Energy?
Nope.
Do they have that weird stuff that Guido has now?
No, they don't have that either.
They have nothing. They're literally purely mechanical.
They appear to be.
Is this like a remotely operated? Like, is there somebody controlling this with a remote control?
That's a good question. So, Snarg, what were you saying?
Oh, I was going to say, so they basically give off the same indication of the uniformly affinity humans that we encountered on the other Lacelle.
Visayan Lascelles, yes.
Yes.
Aphis Lascelles was fire.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I remember that distinctly.
Yeah.
So, I'm just going to whisper with the Guido and Zerial. Say, they're all Earth affinity.
Speak psionic anymore.
Okay, what are you going to do? Said, they're all Earth.
Are you going to roll
It's just
stealth
like
to
that.
speak quietly?
Oh, I'm super good at stealth, sure.
Okay.
I don't even have to roll, I just ought to succeed. No.
I rolled pretty well.
I am
That's
really
the
good at
only
stealth,
reason.
apparently. 35.
That beats me. So, okay. No reaction from your escorts as you're speaking.
Yeah. Basically, it's like that
So-
cell. They're all the same affinity.
So who all are the same affinity?
The humans. They're all
From
Earth.
the hub or everyone that you're seeing in the quarantines?
The last part.
That
Every
part.
human he is seeing is of Earth.
Yes. It's just like that Lacelle. They must have come from another Lacelle. It's all the same thing. They've got all sorts of. They got weird unliving machines. They got people putting credit cards or something on their heads.
Oh my god, these weirdos.
It's insane. Who would ever do such a thing?
So what happened to everyone else?
I'm willing to bet that they struck a deal or something. Although these people don't seem to be taking the same type of psionic countermeasures. I don't know. Maybe we'll learn more once we speak to this governor dude.
I'm just kind of taking mental note of all of it because it doesn't make any sense to me.
In response to your statement about the state of emergency, Mr. I've already forgotten his name. Dows, I believe.
Dows.
Yep, right there.
Paladin dance.
I wrote it down. Mr. Dows will say, unfortunately, a state of emergency has to be declared in order to ensure that the invading threat of the Illuvians is properly dealt with.
Ah, yes, of course.
And I'm
Have
not
you
good
heard
with...
about their super weapon?
Hang on. I'm not good with my tones because I'm a terrible actor, but he sounds disdainful, but not in like a, oh, I hate the Illuvians, more like a, oh, they're pathetic kind of a way.
Like crushing a small rebellion that's annoying.
Bingo. The super weapon, and he'll actually stop in his tracks and turn immediately, like directly down towards you. I don't know how tall your orc is, but he's way taller. He's up there at like the 10-foot range looking down. What super weapon?
You hadn't heard about the situation in...
That was a mechanical
English?
failure. Anybody could tell that. Anybody saying otherwise is a liar and a seditionist. And if you see anyone who is trying to proclaim some superweapon of the Illuvians, you need to report them immediately.
Of course. Mechanical failure of what? I'm sorry, I hadn't been told the full story there. I just had heard rumors.
He actually just gives this sort of bump, and you almost hear him. In fact, you do hear him say, "We'll go with the word primitives." You do know those pretty flying ships. He's not going to be that condescending. It's an airship. It was an airship that malfunctioned. Core improperly imbalanced. Boom.
I'm sorry. I might not be the smartest when it comes to mechanical. Huh?
I liked Guido's reaction to that physically, as he's just like,
So knowledge engineering,
yeah, go for it.
34.
Okay.
Just to basically corroborate
Oh, okay.
what he's telling us.
You know, that's an interesting point. Guido doesn't know, does he? In character.
No,
Really?
Guido and I.
Yeah.
Guido was there. He was there with me. So was Snarg.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
We know
everybody.
that there. We know that the two airships crashed, and that's when the explosion happened.
It just occurs to me, though, that in character you might not know what actually caused it. I mean,
I was
you know that
outside-
there were two airships and then a
Magus.
frickin' explosion happened.
Magus, I was outside the bunker when I saw them crashing, and I had to teleport to get away from it.
I remember that.
Yeah, we both, because we were in the blast.
Yeah, you were.
Yes, the blast.
You were
was
going to be
literally-
atomized.
We saw the last moments of the thing, and I said, "Yank!"
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know, or Snark
He
did
didn't
it
know
until
until we
a
told
little
him.
while back.
I was gonna say, I thought someone. We're just gonna assume you guys know. I'm not gonna play in character, out of character on this one. It occurred to me. I've been treating that as writ for so long. I forget who knows it in character. Anyway, so to corroborate it, you rolled a 30. What?
35.
35. We'll call that sufficient. Based on what you know of airships, he's talking completely out of his ass.
He doesn't know anything. So can I roll deception to figure out if I know if he's deliberately trying to deceive me or not?
Yes, you may.
Because that's my whole intent here, is to figure out how much he knows about the situation.
Snarg, you want to try and contribute into this
So-
one?
I
Or do you not have deception? I don't
I
remember.
rolled a 16 plus 23.
I do, and you know what? It's even better if he's a magical beast.
Well, I'm
He's not.
really
He's
hate to tell you
100%
this,
mechanical.
but there's no magical beasts in the. I'm still letting you change that, by the way.
I haven't had the opportunity yet.
I'm
I
just
know.
letting you know that's still on the table. I haven't
I
forgotten.
know.
Okay,
I'd
so
actually
And-
go.
I'm
For
at
the rec-
39.
okay, Snarg or Guido.
So for the record, as he's telling me this, saying story, my reaction is basically the face that I made earlier.
Okay.
So
So
Ziriel will have seen my face.
yeah, Snarg.
I'm totally not really. Snark's not really interested in doing this whole social game. He's more concentrating on what's in the immediate surroundings.
So
Just
he's watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say most of the people who are walking through the streets, just to add to this, are armed, and I don't mean armed as in holstered. I mean armed as in ready to go.
this this may just be nothing too, but using the geomancy, can I tell if there's been a lot of heavy movement, like these huge things, Tuskar's maybe moving through this area? Maybe the ground's been super packed
You
down,
could use
or
tracking.
something like that. Yep. Survival, maybe combined with the geomancy stuff.
Tell you what, why don't you go ahead and add? This is going to sound weird. Roll survival, and then total that up, but then add your knowledge elements to that, and tell me what that is.
Oh, good lord.
While he's figuring that out, so you rolled. What
I
you roll?
rolled
in deception?
deception.
39.
I rolled-
That's what you got.
Yes.
Near as you can tell, he is telling the truth,
He truly believes this.
very disdainfully.
Very disdainfully. Ah, I see.
Improper design of core shielding is always a sign of catastrophic failure. I don't know what idiot thought they were doing by making an airship of such shoddy, disgusting craftsmanship.
I'm not certain. I'm not very well versed in engineering.
Oh, it's probably the
honestly.
tiny races or the giant races or whatever. Come on, let's go. And he starts up the march again.
So as we're plodding along, I'll take a couple of seconds and I'll just be like, so I don't recognize your accent. Where? Like, sorry, I don't mean to be rude. I just
giant gear knight.
yes, I know, but I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude, but I've always had a
Actually-
fascination with different accents.
Actually, sis, I want you to roll straight in for me. Snarg, do you have your
okay.
number?
Yes. Before I even roll anything, I have a 46.
That's sufficient. I'll just give this to you then.
Thir-
45 is what I was requiring for this.
Oh, okay.
13 and 6 is
Near
19.
is 19. That'll be sufficient. Remind me that you succeeded.
I succeeded.
Snarg, near as you can tell, you are actually walking on ground that has been heavily trod upon by fire energies and lots of big creatures. They probably actually directly came from the hub.
Okay.
Like that, you're literally leaving through the path of that movement.
Right.
Now, eventually you leave it because you're not going east like they were, or northeast rather. But yeah,
Sure, but I basically get the impression they moved their heavy troops from the hub.
yes.
Okay.
Sis, you succeeded. You
I
recognize
succeeded.
his accent.
Okay, but I'm telling him I don't. Where's his
Yeah.
accent from?
Visayan LaSalle.
I haven't been to Visay and LaSalle.
You have heard many people who speak with a Visayan LaSalle accent.
So this is a human?
But that's the accent. That's the dialect he's using.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm still going to phrase my question the way that I phrased it.
Give me a moment before I answer that.
Okay.
I don't have my original note.
Also, I was saying,
What's it called?
as we're traveling, I'm mumbling to myself about the
The big races and the little race.
no, the technology and the likelihood of core shielding, blah, 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 bullshit.
Wow. We'll go ahead and say, yeah, we'll actually make it him. I've even got a thing for this. Okay, he will say, oh, I'm from Kindale, of course.
Is that any place I've ever heard of?
That's a good question. I'm going to go ahead and presume no.
I'm sorry. What town? What?
Where are you
area?
from, ma'am, to be so inquisitive? When you have been
He
found
knows where I'm
intruding.
from. It was on my ID.
Looks at the ID again. This is a forgery. No, I'm kidding.
It's not.
It's actually not a
I'm a
forgery.
forgery.
Yes, that's the funny part. I would have loved it if he'd just be like, nope, but he can't.
Because it's real.
Yeah, no. Instead,
It's perfectly real. I'm fake.
he's
This whole body is fake. Probably just like that one.
So what's he actually do instead of the
I
funny
have a
thing?
question for you, by the way.
What? Ah, you're gone.
Just forget it.
I have a question
Wasn't
for you.
important anyway.
Chikong. God. To add to what Snarg is seeing of the people as he's going through, periodically he will see people who are not patrolling the street so much as traversing it, just going from place to place. These people appear to be pretty much universally garbed in what you'd call nice outfits, fineries, that kind of a thing. And they're almost always in a great deal of a rush. I wouldn't call these, to make what I mean here clear, I wouldn't call these like diplomats or ambassadors or governors or whatever.
They're just rich people.
Bingo. And they're scuttling to and fro. Also, location-wise, you're actually pretty close, and you could tell once you start to move out a little bit more. You're pretty close to where the royal palace is, where the I shouldn't call it the royal palace. I forget what it's actually called. The Congress chambers, where the Council of Lords, or not Lords, excuse me, wrong kingdom, where the council meets of the Navari people. And you are being led in that direction, by the way. You're being led to those chambers.
Let's go where we want to go. So.
Are extremely opulent looking. Gems, there's literally so many gems in certain chunks of the wall that if you look at it in the light bounces off it in the wrong way, you're blinded just for a second. And most of it is completely covered in Purial, but not magical. There's no magic running through it. It's just Purial because it's expensive.
So it hasn't been woven.
Correct. Someone actually
It's just been manually hammered.
Bingo. Some very skilled, very expensive craftsman manually hammered Purial into the pillars. Architectural wise, think Constantinople at its height is kind of what I'm picturing here. If you know what that looks like, or Istanbul if you prefer. And so you're being scooched into that area. Is there anything you guys want to ask or do? I can't hear Guido. Oh, he's
singing it, not
yeah. If anybody wants to do or see anything that I'm not thinking about on the way there.
Well, I'm guessing there's probably not these, otherwise you would have said something. They don't have those little strange, loud airships by chance, do they?
No, they do not. I know exactly what you're talking about, and no.
Yes. Helicopters.
What?
Okay. Are these people they have the same type of weapons that the people on the LaSalle had?
No. This looks much more like
completely different
local
makes and everything.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Seeker is the
So okay.
Arnoth. That's him. Arnoth the Slayer. Okay. So when you successfully get there, basically, you're led inside, and you come to you're like, well, why are we in the governor's chambers, or rather in the council seat chambers? It takes you a little while to realize that you're being led to a side room. This place is like Taj Mahal sized. I mean, gargantuan, right? And as you're being led through, you start to realize that people live in here. That these
I
servants
assume
and
that
the
I would have
workers-
already known that people lived in there.
Very likely, yeah, because this is politics. Then, yeah.
So this is like Constantinople, Taj Mahal, White House.
Kind of. Yeah.
Leaders live here.
No, you're right. Yeah, the leaders live here. The servants live here. You know, there's a fairly large support infrastructure of people who reside in the government building, and that's where you're being led. You're being led over to the residential section towards one of the areas. And when you get in here, you notice that there's a lot more banderlings, orcs, trolls. You know, normal races, ogres as well. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This is Yarak. There are very few ogres here. But yeah, it's much more normal races as you're going through. When you get over to the side, there is a gear knight who has, we'll say, black stripes on its shoulders, and it's the one guarding the doors. And you know, the red one who's with you, he's like, these people are going to be seeing the governor. They are apparently here as diplomats from Al Jalima. Deal with them as you see fit. And then he and his 3 escorts turn and leave. The black striped one looks down at you. He's a little bit shorter than the red striped one, by the way. Looks down at you and says, And it seems like he's debating what to do with you.
Aren't you a little short now?
Bam! No,
So, who has the document?
I do.
Zariel does.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm not giving it to a shovel knight.
He's not. Every time you do that, you lose 1 health.
Let's see. What was the name of the, well, at least the one that we know, the governor of Yaraq?
I can. You're gonna have to roll for that to remember it.
Okay.
But I have his name.
Right.
Let's see what I roll for it.
I have a 25.
I'll give that to you on a 25. Anyone else want to roll to know as well?
But I'm assuming I wouldn't need to remember.
Fair enough. Arnoth of Slayer.
Mhm.
He is a Banderling, and of the Slayer clan, obviously. Arnoth of Slayer. So, yeah.
Governor of Slayer, busy at the moment?
And there's a few seconds pause after you say that, and then this really weird, great, like picture metal scraping on metal sound comes out like this. And then
Have
it
any
turns-
of the other Gear Knights that we've walked past had this much difficulty speaking?
No. After a moment, the noise stops and says,
And says
"Right
what?
this way."
I think he was laughing.
And he opens the door for you to enter.
I'd like to roll awareness.
Well, there's traps everywhere. No, inside the door, as you peer in, it looks like it is the foyer of whatever place that this person lives at. There are servants tending the artificial gardens, woven gardens, where they are basically have a chunk of magicite, which is hung, usually carved in some kind of decorative thing. So, like, there's one in the shape of a sun. There's one in the shape of, like, this fanciful statue of a Banderling woman. Those are actual physical chunks of magicite, which are dangling above plants, which are basically in very, very small chunks of soil, which otherwise would not be able to support them. But the soil and the whatnot are being woven to maintain the appearance of this beautiful garden. It is actually quite lovely looking. It smells very lush in there, and there
Is
are
that
servants running around tending it as
normal?
we speak. For this level of opulence, yes.
Well, I mean, is that normal for this building?
We'll say no. This is the first place you've seen that in, which is why I describe it here.
Well, I mean, I'm sure I'd been to the building on previous visits.
We'll go ahead and
even if
just
just
say
as a
that
tourist.
only the really, really well-off people, financially, not politically, are the ones who have that kind of...
Got it. So this should not be in a government building.
No.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. Okay. Is there anyone in the room?
He opened the door, there's servants there tending the garden. It's a foyer.
Okay, I'll head in.
Yep. Into the opulence.
Yes, as you're walking, you start to realize that there's sort of an unusual scent in the air, in addition to the flowers.
Okay.
As you're walking, it takes you a moment to realize you're smelling gold. There's a actual device which you see as you look upwards, which is distributing very, very, very small amounts of gold dust into the air, so it smells like gold.
Yeah, it's unusual.
Lovely.
Oh, look Guido's face right now.
He's like, how can I get one of these?
No, I'm picturing Zeiss when he watches this episode being like,
What I'm worried about is it distributing Garland gold?
no. It's that smells lovely. Kill everyone. Kill everyone.
Well, to be fair, how could we tell?
That's a good point. That is a good point. After a bit, a very prim and proper servant person says, "I will be more than happy to escort you to your... I presume you have an appointment? Doesn't matter. I'm afraid you're in no condition to be presented before His Excellence right now, though. If you will come this way, we will give you all the proper recruitments."
Thank you. I have my own change of clothes.
No, ma'am. We need skin. You have a bit of skin discoloration. You've got a little bit of a mustache going. We need to trim your hair. It's completely unacceptable. Your servant... He's pointing to Snark specifically. Your servant is completely unacceptable. We'll have to have an entire team. Don't worry, we're quite good at what we do. Expert.
Can I watch?
I swear, every single
Z's
place I
eyes
go.
kind of light up when he says, when she gets what he's going after. Can I watch?
It would not be proper for the nobility to see the servant's work.
No, seriously, I want to watch this. Last time I tried to give him a haircut, you wouldn't believe what happened. All I succeeded in was getting him a bath. Can I watch?
Roll to convince him.
My laptop died. Someone
and
roll
he-
for me. Not Guido.
Uh, pick
Oh,
green
roll.
or white,
Oh,
sis.
there you
Green.
Okay, you will be green, he'll be white. You win. After some serious consultation, he says, "Very well, ma'am." And your bodyguard. Oh my god, there's so much rust on your armor. And he snaps his fingers, and immediately
Whoa,
people
that's a
come
serious
rushing
insult.
out. And they literally start trying to drag, not physically, but they're like trying to herd Guido in a direction.
I
Wait,
growl at them.
And they're like, oh, no, it's okay, it's okay. We'll make you look wonderful. Come on. And oh my God, you need a bath. Oh God, you need a bath so badly.
Did he just burp at them?
No, I think he's still growling.
Now,
I can't see, so it sounded like he burped.
So Snarg gets, Zerial, you get a little bit of a touch up. Snarg,
Zerial will actually go through and just make herself prettier. Like as they're putting makeup on it, she'll slowly like augment her face into a slightly prettier version and make her hair more lustrous.
here, I'm going to roll to see how well you succeed at that. You've rolled a 2.
I have good concentration.
Well, I don't know what your stats are, so you rolled a 2.
Hold on.
Snarg, so,
Not
I'm
maps.
guessing it's going to be like a little Beauty and the Beast thing here.
yes, you're
But I'm
actually,
watching.
your hair is like pulled back into a ponytail, which has been braided like 20 times. And super thinged. You smell very strongly of lilacs.
Wait, what's that?
No,
Second time that's happened.
that's a show thing. That's different. But they shampooed the heck out of you, and then they shampooed you again, and then a third time. Your claws have been manicured.
Have they been painted?
Yes, but they've been painted black because he's a gentleman, and he needs to have the proper accoutrements for a servant, a worker.
Okay, my concentration skill is a 21, so that's still a 23.
23, fine, you succeed. If you'd rolled a
So
1.
I'm now
So yeah, you're prettying yourself up, and Snarg is being completely overdone. Guido, they are trying to convince Guido to vacate his armor so they can polish and
I'm
shine
sure they're
it.
not succeeding.
For some reason, he is so far not acquiescing to this, so they've decided on a compromise. So
To
they've
polish his armor with him in it.
Yes.
they've decided on a compromise.
Yes. So they've got like stools and whatnot around him, and they're like, and they're polishing the heck out of the armor. Stand still, sir. There we go. Oh. So what's been going on with you in the office? They don't say that. They're proper servants. They don't say anything. So they're polishing your. It's shining up really nicely. And they get your living sword. They pick it up and they're going to
Justite.
What?
Justite.
Justite. That's an. I couldn't remember his name. They go to polish it, but he's like perfect because living sword. And he's like, oh my goodness, man, sir, the sword is magnificent. Of course, they don't say anything because they're servants, but they look at it like, and they just give it back to you. And by give it back to you, I mean they examine it in your hand, point it at their throat. So Guido over there, you're like super shiny. You are like a beacon of like all the rust has been removed. And they couldn't bathe you, so they just kind of got a bunch of perfume bottles and they've sprayed the heck out of you.
Okay.
They go to Snarg, and so Snarg I've already described it. So all three of you are properly done up. And so now you're in an excellent condition to meet your betters.
I feel stupid.
Now remember, anytime you encounter someone of this nobility, you must show the proper respect. It's very mandatory. Now I want you to do exactly as I do. Yes, I'm borrowing this from Witcher 3. No, I don't care. And he demonstrates.
Play.
He demonstrates the exact method of how you're supposed to bow, and it's actually quite elaborate. It's not just a normal bow. I don't feel like making up all the details right now, but it's a whole thing. So shong. It's not too hard for you guys to replicate if you choose to. So he then leads you over to a chambers where someone that Zerial recognizes as Arnoth of Slayer.
Before we go over to this, may I suggest I'm on my phone. My laptop's dead, and my phone is at
Oh,
20% battery.
I was hoping to get to the end point here.
Have him do like a one-liner, then we'll end.
Well, I've got something planned. Okay, just do you bow? Do the three of you bow?
I will
Sure.
bow.
Guido,
Yes.
I will bow politely, but I am not.
you're not doing the.
No.
He's in his
I got-
armor. He can't.
Wait,
That's
hang on.
true. That's true.
Is this bow going to look super awkward and terrible if I just do it, even if I try it?
No, you are more than capable of succeeding.
Okay.
with this.
I just need to know if I need to cast any spells.
By the way, I've met somebody of this nobility before. I'm sure that there's an even more elaborate bow I can do.
There
that
is,
The guy didn't
if
show
you
us.
want to.
I'm going to do it perfectly, and I'm going to do it in
Oh.
front of dipshit's face.
Okay. Okay. So, Arnoth of Slayer, he's like, oh, he does the bow in return. Not the one you did. He does the standard bow. He's like, oh my goodness, I'm excellent. I must beg your apology, but my sister is no longer on the laptop and is on her phone, and therefore I must cut this conversation short. I was hoping.
Family data plan, man. Tell you.
I was hoping that you would be willing to join in the guest chambers for some days while we discuss our future together, if this is amicable to you. I'm afraid I have many pressing matters right now. And as he's saying this, one of his servants comes forward and presses hands a letter clandestinely to, we'll say, Snarg.
Uh-oh. Okay. I guess I'll accept it clandestinely.
Go and roll stealth really quick for me.
Okay. Let's see.
Roll well,
Oh.
roll well.
Oh boy.
You can blow an action point on this, don't forget.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
This is important.
Yes.
Okay.
At least that pushes us over one of the DC thresholds. I got a 31 total.
Okay, that is. Oh my god. Okay, so we're good. So you get it. Nobody seems to notice because there's quite a few people in this room. But I didn't describe that. There's a lot of people in this room, like like
Yes.
30 various courtiers and other servants and other. So nobody seems to notice this happening. One of the servants was coming over, and it was just like, may I take your sword? May I take your sword? May I take your sword? Here's the letter. May I take, just that kind of a thing, right? So Snargal has the letter. What do you guys say to Arnoth himself?
All right, I'm letting Zerial do the political conversation. So
Zerial.
I'm thinking about how to phrase.
Snarg, just because for timing reasons, I'm going to tell you what the letter says now,
Oh, okay.
even though you really shouldn't open it right now. But I mean, I assume you assuming you guys accept, you can go and open it later and look at it. It says, what's up?
How do I respond to that? If the letter just says "What's up," I don't even know who.
Well, you're
Said-
supposed to write on the back the sky. The letter says, "I desperately need your help. Please assist me in saving the people of Yarak."
So my response to this guy is basically going to be something along the lines of, it would be my pleasure to discuss the possibilities for our, oh God, words are so hard. It would be my pleasure to stay and discuss with you at length the possibilities of our continued friendship in the future.
Excellent. I would be most gratified to engage in such conversation with someone of such an esteemed and clearly distinguished Orcish bloodline. If my servants will carry you to the nearest guest rooms, and servants come and lead you away. At this point, Snarg can probably check the letter, as I've already described what it says. Do you share with the other two here what it says?
Yes.
Probably wait until we're alone.
That's up to you.
Well, I mean, unless they're obviously going to see it. No, but the first chance.
Okay, so you're escorted to your rooms, and then
Yeah.
you.
So maybe they turn the corner to do something like, "Hey, look at this."
Yeah. Look what he showed us. Oh my god. And then we'll cut it off there, and we'll deal with the letter next week.
Okay, perfect.
So
And I've used my social action point.
yes.